I don't see that. I don't know how, and it won't let me speed it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, iRacing fans from around the world, welcome to the third annual Spooktacular 300, brought to you by KMA Racing in association with The good old boys over there at Over the Top Paints and Designs, Loose Lug Nuts, our sponsor for the evening. I am Scott Kolovic, your announcer. Joining me in the booth is my good friend, Jack Watts. How are you doing, Jack?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to do this announcing thing instead of driving. This will be something fun, something different.
Now, I tell you what, we are going to have a great race out here tonight. The theme of the night is Halloween. And our sponsor, Over the Top Paints and Designs, along with John Hedrick and Billy Wise and Jason Covington, they have worked their paint brushes to the bone. You're going to see a lot of great trucks out here painted up by the paint shop. Tonight's live broadcast is brought to you by Michael D'Amico and All Pro Broadcasting Network. Now, this is Talladega. Jack, talk to us about Talladega.
Talladega is a blast to ride. You got a lot of room. You got a lot of spaces to go. The problem is people try to take it like too wide side by side to where they're going to wreck into each other early. So we have to watch out for that. Hopefully these guys will have some give and take and get the stuff done and go for it at the end.
Going to take a lot of patience out here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We do have 113 laps. That does equal out to 300 miles. Great night for racing tonight. Mostly cloudy, 72 degrees. Track temperature sits at 83 degrees. Now, what are we driving out here? Talk to me about these fast trucks, Jack.
These trucks are a good time. They're pretty easy to drive. The Tundra and the Chevy Silverado, they're a good time to drive. They draft up real well. But you still just got to be careful for the guy on your outside, the guy behind you, bumping you when you're trying to push somebody, but they're a blast.
And they can achieve speeds of right along 197 miles per hour in that draft. Now, we're going to see a lot of draft out here tonight, Jack.
Oh, yeah, that's what makes this race happen. You got to draft to be able to keep up. Hopefully you don't far too back off of it, so you cannot keep up. But the biggest thing is the draft.
Another big thing out here tonight will be green flag pit stops. Now, these drivers, they've got a slightly lessened amount of a full fuel load, so they're going to be looking at about 25 to 27 laps. Now, with 113 laps of racing tonight, they're going to have to break out their calculators, and I believe that will equal out to about 4 pit stops and a top-off. Now, talk to me about tire wear with 113 laps.
Tire wear is not horrible here, but they got to figure out, like for what I do is I usually switch. I'll do right sides one time, left sides another time, because tire wear is not super bad here. And at the end, the last pit stop, I would only take fuel only, but it's up to their crew chiefs on what they're going to do.
A lot of decisions to be made. Now to the drivers, we've got some new drivers joining us tonight, the guys from Loose Lug Nuts Racing. We've got our sponsor, John Hedrick, tonight, driving in the number 21. And he's brought his teammates, the number 8, Travis Zedema, along with Robert Madison, the number 14, Jeffrey Wood in the number 64, several other drivers, and that is just to name a few out here tonight. We have got our usual spread of the KMA drivers, such as Edward Bray and Ivan Garcia and Gary Burt, and a few solo drivers out here, such as Skip Lynn and Rusty Farrell. Huge field tonight, Jack.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a solo or whatever, because, if you're running in the draft, last night I did the win with a guy who's pretty much a solo driver. So, as long as you're up there when it's, go time, you do have a chance. I want to give a shout out to John Hedrick for all that he's done for our paints. He's an awesome, awesome painter. But, yeah, if you're in the draft with 10 to go, you got a chance.
Now, speaking of our painter, you can check him out on Facebook at The Paint Shop. Check him out on Facebook. Show him some love. Give him that big thumbs up. Also, remember to show some love for the broadcaster out here tonight with All Pro Broadcasting. Thumbs up. Ladies and gentlemen, big shout out to our fans out there. We have got Rednecks Racing rooting on Chucky tonight, driven by J.R. Johnson in the number 37. Big shout out to J.R. from Rednecks, along with Becky and Michelle out there. Always good to see the ladies rooting on the drivers.
Yeah, it's really nice to see people watching this and having a good time. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Now, these drivers are right now under their qualifying runs. Not everybody's going to choose to qualify. So what's up with that? Why would you not want to qualify here at Talladega?
Because some of the guys that choose not to qualify is either not very fast at qualifying or you want to stay in the back for safety. you only got 2 resets, which means if you wreck your car out, you got 2 more, or your truck out, you got 2 more to go. You want to stay in the back so that you can save those. 113 laps is a long time to go, so you just kind of want to hang out in the back, let everything work itself out, and try to go from there.
Now, what if you're up on that pole position? I guess you just want to run like hell, run like the devil's chasing you. And with these paint jobs out here tonight, the devil may well be chasing you, Jack.
Yeah, if you're in the front, you definitely want to run like hell because you don't want people to catch up to you, get in the front of you or whatever. If you're in the front, you're going to miss the wreck. Kind of what people in the back are hoping for.
Alrighty, let's run through our field tonight. We've got the number 3 of Mark Jackson taking on that P1 spot tonight with a Gravedigger Chevy Silverado, pulling down a 53.421. On his side, we've got the number 27 of Tim B. Cox with a 53.436. Rodney German, number 35, in position 3 with a 53.443. Donald Stewart, P4, number 78 with a 53.482, and the number 29 of Ryan Eckstein with a 53.483.
Yeah, those are very good times. We've got 6, Rob Hayes with a 53.518. We got Brian Rainville with a 53.519. Really, really close. We got Bobby Everhart with the 53.513. We got Everett Fastlane, 53.536, and in 10th place we got Gary Whitmer Jr. with a 53.548.
Number 44, Nils Clyde, position 11 with a 53.562, tied with the number 33 of Vernon Margheim, position 12, 53.562. Number 37, J.R. Johnson, we're going to call him Chucky tonight, number 13 with a 53.567. The 146 of Kenneth Wright, P14, with a 53.597, and P15, number 15, Ben Gear, all about the 15s tonight, with a 53.607.
We got David Butterworth in 16th with a 53.621, Dustin Lee with a 54.143, and Dustin Caldwell with a 54.431. Kind of surprised to see Dustin Lee back here. He's usually up there. He must have had a bad lap in qualifying.
Well, quite possibly, or he just might have been opting to just lay back and get into the middle of the pack as well. Choosing not to qualify tonight is the number 75 of Rusty Farrell, number 96, Cody Lipster, number 10, Jason Covington, Sean W. Brown in the number 65, Bob Wells, number 38, Richie B, number 87. Big shout out to Richard Brose. Skip Lynn in the number 53. The number 72, Ivan Garcia, back in position 28. Wesley Holland in the number 4. Sharp looking was Zap Truck right there. Great paint job. Number 64, Jeffrey Wood. Jason Russo, position 31, number 23 tonight. Gary Burt in the number 88. And David Gainsworth in the 101.
I'm really kind of surprised with Richie B not qualifying because that guy is usually fast at these tracks. He must be wanting to hang out in the back.
A lot of fast drivers, and we've got more to come. And Len McNeese, Stephen Kinney tonight joining us in the number 39. William Wise in the number 32. Edward Bray was in the grid, but does not look like he will be joining us tonight. Number 8, Travis Zudina. Number 91, Joel Guy, and number 21, John Hedrick. At the rear of the field, the number 14 of Robert Mattis. Great, big, huge, scary-looking field tonight.
Yeah, this should be a really good time. This is a huge, huge field.
Now, we are getting ready to go green tonight here for 113 laps of hopefully green flag racing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, starts and restarts are done on leader's discretion. So right now, it is up to Mark Jackson and Tim Cox. Let's see what they're going to do. Pace car is in. Boogity, 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 boys. Let's go racing.
And here we go. Looks like a good, clean start with these trucks.
Mark Jackson out there in the front, side by side with Timothy Cox. But I tell you what, it is all about the pushing tonight here at Talladega. And we are seeing Donald Stewart and Rodney German both onto the tail end of their prospective partners here at the beginning of 113 laps. Right now, no double file action. These drivers, you know, that's not allowed to take part in the 3 wide until after hopefully one lap is completed. Right now, that middle lane, accumulating up 3, 4, 5 trucks. Middle lane starting to take shape tonight.
Yeah, it is. The middle lane usually is the fast way around here, but we'll see how it goes throughout the night.
Well, there's going to be a lot on these drivers' mind tonight. We will be seeing a lot of three-wide action. I can guarantee you that. But something these drivers might want to keep in mind is, hey, we're looking about 25, 26 laps. We can start getting those green flag pit stops going underway. So right now, they're just going to sit back and ride and let us admire these great paint jobs brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs.
Oh yeah, man, I really hope so. These paints are really amazing.
Up there in the front, we have got the Gravedigger of Mark Jackson, a scary-looking vehicle all in himself, and that is his regular vehicle he drives. There's a reason we call him Gravedigger.
Yellow for some reason.
Number 29,
what happened?
Ryan Eckstein getting just a little bit of trouble down below that yellow line, pulling it back up, as Ryan Eckstein sitting in position 5. Working along with Everett Fastlane in the number 24 tonight. All drivers right now very content to stay double file.
And that's really a good thing because we got a long ways to go. There's no reason to use your stuff up right now. They're just staying in line, having a good time, looks like.
Looking at the number 60 of Brian Rainville in the PRN Toyota. Getting a little bit of a push from the number 71 of Bobby Everhart. Now, Brian is a great driver, but Brian is one of those drivers. He does like to see that three-wide action. A lot of drivers out here, they kind of think the double file is boring. And it is, ladies and gentlemen, but it is a safe way to go right now. And Brian Rainville staying hard onto the rear end of the number 68 of Rob Haynes. No three-wide action yet as of yet.
Yeah, three wide is a lot of fun. That outside lane is really fast, but there really is no reason to compromise your position right now. Maybe on 10, 15 to go there is, but right now just kind of stay in line, do your thing. Green flag pit stops, hopefully.
Now, as you mentioned earlier, these drivers do have 2 backup vehicles in the garage tonight. So in the event of a caution and a damaged vehicle, all is not lost. I tell you what, Jack, really liking these trucks out here. I'd like to get a close-up view of that number 37 J.R. Johnson truck side by side with Bobby Everhart. J.R. Johnson showing his love for Chucky tonight. Looking scary out here, but great driving skills on lap 4.
Man, that really is a cool-looking truck. He's kind of in the top part of the field, but man, that is a really nice-looking paint scheme he's got there.
Getting a big push from the number 15 of Ben Gear. Ben Gear, another great driver out here tonight, ready to show his love for the painters. And he is side by side with the number 5 of Gary Whitmer. Another Halloween truck out there driven by Gary Whitmer, showing his love.
Another really good looking truck. It was probably done by Over the Top Paints. Most of the time, everything, I have never seen a bad paint job from Over the Top. They are just awesome painter.
And we are 3 wide in the front, ladies and gentlemen, as Tim B. Cox and Rodney German and Mark Jackson are 3 wide in the front. But I tell you what, that number 27 of Tim B. Cox, that Metallica Chevy Silverado, brought to you by Over the Top. Metallica is going backwards tonight. That 3 wide did not work out. Nobody wanted to go 3 wide but him, and Tim Cox got hung out on the outside lane.
He got lucky right there. Bobby Everhart in the number 71 truck let him in, so he got lucky right there. But when you go to the outside, nobody goes with you, you're going backwards for sure.
Got to have a partner here on that 3 wide action. Up in the front, Everett Lane has got a very solid partner, as we're looking at Rodney German, I believe it is, giving a big boost to Everett Lane. Everett Lane side by side with Mark Jackson on lap 6.
Yeah, it still looks like they're being content up there, Scott. So they're being, what we would say is being good right now.
Being good and behaving themselves here on lap 6. Now, I'll tell you what, though, Rodney German giving a big boost onto Everett Lane in the number 24. Not really challenging the inner lane, but definitely wanting to make sure they are controlling that middle lane and that nobody's going to get that temptation to go 3 wide on them again.
Yeah, if he stays out here and Rodney German's okay with pushing him out there, that's the good way to go. The problem is it kind of stacks up the field, so nobody has nowhere else to go, and then people get impatient because the 2 lanes ain't like shifting where you can bounce, up a little bit. So it makes people impatient that way.
Now, something else these drivers are going to have to deal with, they're going to have to deal with that thing called heat. And sometimes when a driver gets hot, he's actually got to separate. Like right now, we're seeing Rodney German hanging off the tail end of Everett. I don't think Rodney's wanting to go pretty wide. I think Rodney is heating up, and he has got to get 3/4 of the front of that truck off into that clean air. If he stays locked up bumper to bumper with Everett Lane, he's going to hit 300 degrees, and he's going to blow that Chevy Silverado engine.
Yeah, that's probably all he's doing is stepping out a little bit, get some air on that radiator, and then coming back in to make sure he can push them so that they don't get passed on the inside.
Rodney German and Everett. Rodney German is going 3 wide. I think he got too hot right there because going 3 wide by yourself, he is going to go backwards. So Rodney German will lose positions as Donald Stewart now becomes the best friend of the number 24, Everett Lane.
And Donald Stewart's truck should be really, really cool right now because he didn't have to push nobody. So we'll be able to push Everett Lane and number 24, hopefully get him in front of the 3. But it doesn't look like 24 wants to come down.
Now 24 is going to hold his line. Back a couple of spots back to Rodney German, once again trying very desperately to get out of that 3rd lane. Bobby Everhart not showing Rodney German any love, taking it 3 wide. We have got the number 37, J.R. Johnson. Very close contact with the 71 of Bobby Everhart. Rodney German hanging on for dear life side by side with Bobby Everhart. I tell you what, Jack, Rodney German is actually holding his own in that 3rd lane. He has actually made another position here as we were yakking. He is side by side right now with Tim B. Cox in the Metallica Chevy Silverado.
Yeah, he can hold it for a little bit there, Scott. The thing is, the side draft is huge. And he has a truck coming up behind him trying to give him some help. With the side draft, you can keep up a little bit, but we'll see if he goes forward.
Right now, he is pretty much a lone wolf out there, possibly getting a little bit of draft between that middle lane and the wall. Back up in front, we have got Everett Lane down to the inside lane. Mark Jackson out into the middle lane. A couple of swap-a-roonies here on lap 10. And Everett Lane is going to get a big boost from Ryan Eckstein in the number 29. But on that outside lane, the 27 get behind Rodney German. Rodney German up into about 8th place, making his way back to the front.
And Mark Jackson's getting, and the number 3 truck is getting a good push by Donald Stewart, the number 78. I bet that they get around him here on the next lap or so, but I don't know if Mark's going to want to go down because that's not the fastest way. It's usually the middle lane that's the fastest around here.
Well, we are on lap 10, and we are not quite near enough to green flag pit stops where you're really trying to calculate anything more but holding your line. A couple of drivers in here I'm not very familiar with. The number 44 of Niels Clyde right now in position 5, doing a very great job. A new driver here to KMA Racing, keeping our eyes on the number 44, doing a great job. Not sure if he's got any partners out here or not.
Yeah, I'm the same with you, Scott. I don't know this guy very well, but he seems to be doing okay. He's up there in the top 5. He seems to be holding his own, so hopefully the best of luck for that guy.
I tell you what, looking to his right, the number 60 of Brian Rainville. These drivers right now are 3 wide, hot and heavy, coming down the backstretch. Rodney and Mark Jackson and Everett 3 wide for that top spot right now. The number 27 doing a very good job pushing Rodney German back up into that front. 3 wide action on lap 12.
Yes, sir. Like I said, that top lane is really fast if you have a few guys to go out there. To me, in my opinion, it's a little early to go out there, but they're doing their thing. They do what they feel that they got to do, but they all seem to be running really clean.
All righty, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen out there in all pro broadcasting land, if you've got a question for the broadcaster or for the announcer, feel free to type it up on that all pro broadcasting chat box, or if you have a comment, and we will try to take them as we see them. Rednecks Racing, giving a big shout out to the broadcaster. Great camera work. Becky Whitmer out here rooting on her son, Gary Whitmer Jr. Right now, Gary Whitmer, beautiful Halloween truck, sitting in position 9.
Yeah, he seems to be having a good run right now. He seems to be just kind of chilling out, waiting for pit stops, waiting for this race to unfold.
But I tell you what, he's got a death grip on that wheel. Where do you like to be in this position, Jack? Do you want to be the monkey in the middle? Do you want to be down on that inside? Do you want to be on that outside when you're 3 wide? Where do you want to be, Jack?
If it's me, I'd rather be the monkey in the middle because to me it seems like that's the faster way around. I do not like the outside unless it's absolutely necessary.
Rodney German. Rodney German, trouble with Rodney German, getting a little bit of a love tap. That is going to cost Rodney German several positions. Not exactly sure what happened, but that caution flag will not fly tonight, thank goodness. Scary moments on lap 13. Hard racing as Rodney German takes a bite up into the wall.
Yeah, that was rough. He's lucky that there was no big caution or nothing like that there.
Big shout out to Michael Angelo's Painting. They were our grid sponsor for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, check them out on the World Wide Web. Michael Angelo's Painting. Taking care of our gridding tonight at the KMA 3rd Annual Spooktacular 300. Everett Lane up in front. Try racing side by side with Mark Jackson and the number 29 of Ryan Eckstein. Right now it is a drag race to see who will lead lap 15 between Everett Lane and Ryan Eckstein. Rob Haynes on the inside lane working with Everett, doing a great job tonight.
Yeah, they're running strong side by side. They're still trying to keep it tight and just keep it to the end.
Now these drivers are probably right now about talking to their teammates, trying to work out some sort of a pit strategy. Green flag racing so far. No cautions, 3 lead changes. Do you think we're going to see a lot of lead changes, Jack? You know, I have seen them as high in the 30s. I've seen caution-free races as low as 4. How many lead changes do you think we will acquire tonight?
If I had to guess, I'd probably say 15, 20. There's a lot of lead changes going on because the shift back and forth, who's pushing harder or whatever. But, I mean, there's always a lot of lead changes at this track.
Well, and once these drivers do start cycling in for those green flag pit stops, the guys in the back pitting later than the leaders, they will actually end up in the front, but they will lose that front position one more time once they go into pit row.
Absolutely. Once they go into pit row, though, they got fresh tires, whatever they take, enough fuel to get to the next pit stop, so I'm sure they're looking forward to it.
Dropping back in the field just a little bit, looking at the number 75, being driven by Rusty Farrell, and he is side by side with the 39, doing a great job back here, fighting in position 24. Currently side by side with the number 53 of Skip Lynn in the pink and black monster truck.
Yeah, he's right there behind that number 51 of Dustin Lee. They're trying to, I don't know if they're trying to go side by side or get single file to get up to the front and see what goes on.
Right now, Skip Lynn giving a big boost to Stephen Kinney in the number 39, driving another great Halloween truck, but 2 trucks back in the number 8. Ladies and gentlemen, in the number 8, that is Christine, being driven by Travis Zudima. Now, you remember the Stephen King movie, Christine? Well, I tell you what, right now I just got a chill up my spine. Ladies and gentlemen, Travis Zudima in the number 8, Christine Chevy Silverado tonight.
The only question I got for you, Scott, is Travis really driving that truck, or is it Christine?
I tell you what, if he ends up in that winner's circle tonight, we'll have to ask him that, Jack. Good question, though. Right now, Travis side by side with the number 51.
Even back here, though, it looks like they're just kind of hanging out, waiting for the pit stop, so they're putting on a great show right now.
Dropping back a little bit further back, taking a look at William Wise in the number 32. Pat endorsed Halloween pumpkin truck on the grill. Looking very sharp. Good job out there, too. Billy Wise. Jason Covington in the number 10, hot on his heels. Another Halloween truck. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody showing their love for the spooky season.
Yeah, these are a lot of nicely painted trucks. Just want to thank again Over the Top Paints, man. They did a really good job.
Over the Top Paints and Designs. Check them out on Facebook. Back here in the very back of the field, position 33, the number 91 of Joel Guy, showing his love for the season as well. Looking very, very spooky out here tonight. Big shout out to Joel Guy. Big shout out to all the drivers out here showing their love.
Yeah, Joel Guy looks like he's just kind of hanging out, you know, kind of seeing what happens, let everything unfold. But, man, that is a really nice paint job he's got on this truck.
Trouble with the number 15 as the number 15 gets into a driver and drives him off track. Unfortunate break. It looks like it is the number 33 that is going to be going for a ride. First caution is out, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was a rough deal right there. But now these guys get to pit. It was almost pit time anyways. Now these guys get to pit and see what they can do from here.
Well, we're going to take a look at that replay brought to you by GW Graphics. Now, what we did see, ladies and gentlemen, we saw the number 72 getting into the rear end of the number 15 being driven by Ben Gear. Now, as Ben Gear did get that tap in the rear end, he came across track down onto the number 33 of Vernon Margheim. And Vernon Margheim in the green and yellow Halloween ride going for a ride. Unfortunate break 4. Vernon Margheim side by side with the number 15 of Ben Gear. First caution, lap 19.
Yeah, I can't tell, Scott, if the 72 got him just a little bit wrong or if the 15 was a little bit coming down a little bit. So it's kind of hard to tell what happened from the replay, but all the more that 33 kind of got that bad end of the stick right there.
Well, I'd say
the 72 was behind the 15 pushing him.
72 and 15 involved in that. But I tell you what, the worst part of this, Jack, as we are watching the number 33 spin round and round, nothing he could do. He was completely out of control. But the number 51 Scooby-Doo truck driven by Dustin Lee going for a ride. And right now, Dustin Lee going rut-row on lap 19.
Yeah, all these guys, I mean, the ones that got around it, that was great. But all these guys are like, the ones that weren't involved in it are thankful. You know, they get to pit, don't have to worry about doing that under green. So that kind of works out for them.
Now, right now, pretty much the entire field heading into pit row. Mark Jackson, first truck in. He is our race leader, hoping to regain that position as Mark Jackson in the number 3 Gravedigger Chevy Silverado peeling out of pit row.
Yeah, it looks like he got off in front of everybody that pitted. So we'll see how he lines up, if people stayed out or not.
Going to get a quick race interview in with Mark Jackson. How about it, Mark Jackson? Have you got a copy, sir?
Hi, Scott. How you doing?
Doing very good. Looking very sharp out there in the Gravedigger, representing the season. Talk to me about your race so far.
Well, so far so good. We're managed to stay up front here, keep our track position. Cooler heads seem to prevail up here up front. I mean, a little worried about the temperatures there running in the draft, but so far so good. Having a good night.
All righty. Anybody you'd like to give a big shout out to tonight?
I'd like to thank John Hedrick over at the Top Paints, Pad Motorsports, and All Pro Broadcasting, and Richie B's Pizza. Some good stuff. You guys need to order that stuff up online and get you some of that, because it's really good.
All righty. Big shout out to Richie B's Pizza. All right. Thank you, sir, and good luck to you, Mark Jackson.
Thank you, Scotty.
I tell you what, these drivers, we are on lap 21, and right now things are going to get a little bit heated up on this track. Right now, they've shaken all the cobwebs, and they are ready to get down to some green flag racing tonight.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, these guys are taking it pretty easy so far, which is really a good thing, because it should be green flag racing for a long time. Nobody seems to be pushing it too much.
You know, in lap 21, lap 22, there is no reason at all to be pushing it yet. You got plenty of time to get her done tonight. I want to get one more quick interview with one of my favorite drivers. I always enjoy talking to Dustin Lee. How about it, Dustin Lee? Have you got a copy? Dustin Lee, have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
All righty, how are you doing tonight? I noticed you got a little bit caught up into that little haywire incident right there. Are you alive?
Yeah, I was just trying to bide my time back there and everything, and yeah, I'll try to stay out of trouble, and it ended up got in it anyway. So.
How's the racing back there? Does everybody seem to be keeping in line, or are they pushing hard right now?
I guess pretty much they're kind of fighting pretty hard back there in a way, but yeah, I kind of got checked up there and lost the main pack, and this was trying to catch back up, honestly, but they're actually racing pretty hard back there, even in the second pack.
All right, well, tell us briefly about your truck. You got a Scooby-Doo deal on. Talk to me about Scooby-Doo truck.
Yeah, John painted it up for us, and he did a good job, and just a little something different, kind of, I guess, to show the Halloween spirit, I guess, and obviously this race is kind of a mystery in the first place, so what better truck to run than a mystery machine?
Well, I tell you what, my wife's loving it out there. Big Scooby-Doo fan. So good luck to you, Dustin Lee, and be safe out there tonight.
Okay, we'll try to get to the front, put on the show for you guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much for coming out.
Yep, and I know you can do it. Good luck to you. That will bring out our first caution of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to our sponsor, Loose Lug Nuts and Over the Top Paints and Designs. Big shout out to our grid sponsor, Michelangelo's Painting, as well as our replay sponsor, GW Graphics. GW, Gary Whitmer, in the race tonight, doing a very good job out here so far right now, being very patient back there in position 21. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any information you'd like to share with us on that All-Pro Broadcasting chat, feel free to type her up. Alrighty, Jack, thoughts on the first 23 laps?
It's been pretty good. These guys are actually taking it pretty easy. I'm really surprised at this track that we're taking it easy, and we've only got one caution and 23 laps, but hopefully, we'll get better. We'll get green flag pit stops. They can do their thing and kind of get spread out and get to the front.
Now, once these drivers have gotten through one caution, they are loosened up. They are ready to go. Nowhere near go time yet, but there are going to be drivers out here that did not go into pit row. They chose to stay out here. Those drivers are going to be looking at about four to 5 laps, and they're going to have to go into pit row. So that's going to totally change the game out here tonight at Talladega.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just probably hoping for a caution quickly. If not, then they're kind of going to be screwed for be a lap down or whatever.
Rounding out our current race order, we have got the number 3 of Mark Jackson in P1 side by side with Everett Lane, Donald Stewart, David Buttersworth in positions 3 and 4. Ryan Eckstein side by side with Brian Rainville for positions 5 and 6. Pace car is in. Boogity boogity back to some green flag racing. Mark Jackson, Everett Lane, side by side once again.
Yeah, here we go. It looks like Mark got a pretty good jump right there, but he didn't leave Everett behind too far. And it looks like Mark has a really good push from Donald Stewart, better than Everett in the 24 got from his push heat.
Number 81, David Butterworth, abandoning the middle lane, abandoning Everett Lane to get down onto the inside, but Brian Rainville in the number 60, being a good friend to Everett, not going to leave Everett out there high and dry. Big shout out to Brian Rainville driving tonight for PRN Premier Race Network, being a great team player on lap 24.
Yeah, Brian's really pushing this guy, trying to help him out, get him up to the front, and get himself up to the front. So, yeah, he's being a great team player right here.
But I tell you what, look at the number 37, J.R. Johnson driving the Chucky. Chucky is going to the front. J.R. Johnson, great driver tonight. He shot up on that inside lane like a rocket ship.
Yeah, that was a really good move right there.
He is getting into go mode right now as he is side by side with Kenneth Wright in the Casper Chevy Silverado. Kenneth Wright, number 146, right now in position 8, side by side with J.R. Johnson.
And that 78, Donald Stewart got somewhere to go. He cut right down on the inside. He has somewhere to go right now, and Mark Jackson's giving him a push to get him there.
Everett Lane getting a huge push down the middle line by the number 60 of Brian Rainville. Brian Rainville wiggling just a little bit. Watching the number 29 of Ryan Eckstein abandoning the middle lane, opting to get down into that inside lane. We're seeing a lot of leapfrog lane changing going on right now, Jack.
Yeah, I don't understand why the 29 would go down there when the outside is usually faster, but we'll see how it plays out for this guy. I mean, usually if the outside gets the good push, they will get around these inside lanes, so he probably felt that was faster for him and better for him right now. And there goes a 78 to the outside right there. He
7,
knows
8.
that's the way to go.
7-8 back up into the front, possibly doing that to allow Mark Jackson some of that precious air we talked about. Now, another thing these drivers have to calculate out here tonight, Jack, it's driver trust. So we may see a driver and we're scratching our heads, well, why did he do that? Well, it might just be because he did not want to drive with the driver that he was in front. So he's going to do what he can to hook up with a teammate, work their way around the undesirable drafting partner to get to somebody that he is more comfortable, more safe with.
Yeah, I understand that. I've been around drivers I don't trust. If I'm around a driver I trust, I'll follow him all the way to the end because you're more comfortable with your driving skills that way.
Brian Rainville seeming to get a little bit of loose, fighting to stay into the draft of Everett Lane. Looks like that middle lane is going to be checked up just a little bit as Ryan Eckstein back up into the middle, and that is going to slow the forward momentum down of Everett and Brian Rainville, both drivers having to let off that throttle just a little bit.
Yeah, it sure does, Scott. I mean, they're pushing it, but not too bad right now.
Now these drivers, talk to me about the speeds and the lap times these drivers are putting down, Jack.
These speeds are almost 200 miles an hour. They're putting down like 48, 49-second lap times. They're just trying to think, where do I go? What do I do? What's the best lane for me to be in? How do I keep my truck cool? All this stuff and pit strategy. I mean, I'm sure they're already thinking about pit strategy.
Pretty active racing going on with Ben Gear back in position 15 in that orange and black Toyota. Ben Gear doing a very good job. But right now, coming up into that third lane to his right is Richard Brose in the number 87 Richie B Chevy Silverado. And Richie B is 3 wide with Ben Gear on lap 28. We've got the number 65 wanting a little bit of action. 65 being driven by Sean Brown. Appears that Richie B is going to get hung out to dry in that upper lane, Jack.
Yeah, that surprises me because Richie B has always been a fast qualifier here, but he'll get his way to the front. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He'll get his way up here. He's just trying to see if any takers will go up there and help him out.
One truck back looking at number 75 number 75 being driven by Rusty Farrell. He was momentarily in a 3 wide position with Rodney German. Rodney German trying to go 3 wide by himself. Now Rodney German in that purple Fanatic Silverado, very aggressive driver right now on lap 29, taking it 3 wide with Richard Brose on lap 29.
Yeah, it looked like the 93 of Dustin Caldwell was thinking about going out there. I don't know if he's trying to cool his stuff down or he's thinking about it, he's getting nervous or what's going on. But yeah, it looks like Rodney German is out there kind of by himself. Oh, he got back in line now. They're doing some good racing right here, though. They're kind of keeping in line, checking up, making sure their partner's okay. So we may even get some green flag stops right here, Scott.
I'm thinking we will. Keeping our cameras focused on Dustin Caldwell in number 93, working with the 75 of Rusty Farrell. Great driving. He's trying to hang on to the tail end of the draft of Rodney German, but Rodney German and Richie B actually working together in that high lane. Looking at some serious 3 wide action coming up. Richie B trying to get a big run going with Rodney German.
Yeah, and if they get to hook up just right, I guarantee you they will get to the front. They probably need one more truck to get there, but where they're at right now, it's actually fast because nobody wants to be out there this early.
Well, they do seem to be gaining momentum along with Sean Brown and the number 15. They are sticking true to that third lane. Richie B almost side by side with the number 65 of Sean Brown and Rodney German, Richard Brose making forward progress on lap 31.
Yeah, they're making their way towards there, but it's going to be tough. That outside line is scary because 3 wide, there's really not a lot of room for error, so we'll see how they do.
And to really utilize that third lane draft, Jack, you've got to get up onto that wall. You don't want to touch that wall, of course, but you have got to get as much suction from the wall, as much suction off that inside lane, and Richie B and Rodney German demonstrating how to do that.
Yeah, for some reason, when you get closer to the wall, even if you're by yourself, you pick up speed. I'm not sure why that is, but you do pick up speed. And with a guy pushing you, that will help you even more. If you got 2 guys pushing you, that's way more gooder than 1.
Now, what's interesting right now, Richie B's last lap time, Jack, was a 49.062, whereas our race leader's last lap was a 49.254. So the race leader is actually about 0.02 of a second slower than position 11, and that is exactly the purpose of that draft. You get caught up in that draft, and it is just like a rubber band slingshot effect, and he will go to the front.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they got one more guy out there, they would be so much more gooder than they are right now. Because right now, where they're going, I mean, they are faster a little bit, but it's harder because they're taking the longer way around.
Right now, they have got no takers. They are the only drivers on the track 3 wide. But they are in a very good spot, making sure that they allow themselves plenty of escape room in the event of a caution. We are 3 wide in the front. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 29 get a little bit onto that apron, slowing down the momentum of Donald Stewart. And I tell you what, Brian Rainville itching for it up front. And here comes Richie B and Rodney German. They are almost to the front of this pack.
Yeah, here they come. They are coming by themselves, those two. If they had one more, they'd be gone. But they are so catching this front pack. We are there.
We are 3 wide, 2 deep. 6 drivers up here in the front battling balls to the wall. We have got Everett Lane. We have got Brian Rainville. We have got Richie B. Front 3 drivers. Kenneth Wright and the Casper Silverado looking very sharp. Richie B and Rodney German could not quite make that clearance, but they still are right up there. Brian Rainville going down to the inside. Very tight racing. We have got contact with Kenneth Wright and Rodney German. No caution, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Rodney German kind of got hung out after that contact. Richie got a good line. After the contact happened, he got to the middle, so he'll keep going to the front.
No worries.
This is some really good racing up front right here.
No worries for Rodney German as Sean Brown picks up the falling down Rodney German. And Rodney German, Sean Brown, and Wesley Holland in the number 4. What a truck driven by Wesley tonight, and these drivers are going to the front.
Absolutely. They got a ton of help right now. They got 3 guys behind Rodney German now. If they can hook up, these guys will go to the front.
Very impressed with Rodney German and Richie B tonight. These drivers 3 wide, hot and heavy. Donald Stewart's up there. Mark Jackson is up there. Ryan Eckstein. Ladies and gentlemen, lap 35. Mark Jackson down below the yellow line. Slight slide, but Mark Jackson saving it on lap 35.
Look at this run, though, Scott. I mean, 3 wide, 3 deep, few laps. I mean, these guys are really trying, almost like it's 10 to go.
Richie B down in front of Brian Rainville here on lap 36, opening up that middle line for Kenneth Wright and Ryan Eckstein. Once again, Rodney German in that 3rd lane, falling backwards and then going forwards, almost in that slingshot effect. Right now, Kenneth Wright in the Casper truck, looking to lead his first lap here, coming to lap 37.
Yeah, and those 2 guys on the outside, Rodney German and the 65 of Sean Brown, they kind of lost help. They had 2 guys behind them, so now it's kind of up to them to see what they want to do.
I tell you what, looking at the number 4 of Wesley Holland, very patient driver, but I tell you what, I have seen this cat race. He knows when to hold him, he knows when to fold him, and he knows when to put that hammer down. 3 wide with Donald Stewart, and once again, Rodney German. I tell you what, if you do not know who Rodney German is, ladies and gentlemen, you will know Rodney German by the end of the night, dominating out there in that 3rd lane, not scared of the 3 wide.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of holding his own, and so is Kenneth Wright. I mean, he's holding his own position right there in the middle. He's not coming up too high, not coming down too high. These guys are all doing a magnificent job.
Number 81 into the wall on lap 37. Number 81 being driven by David Buttersworth. No caution, ladies and gentlemen, staying with our race leaders. That is where it is at tonight with KMA Spectacular 300. 4 wide, Rodney German, Kenneth Wright. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 wide with Sean Brown. Oh my goodness, talk about it getting scary, Jack. We were 4 wide here on lap 38.
Yeah, that's crazy, but I don't know if anybody has anything for Brian Rainville and Richie B, but Brian decided to pull out. Let's see what happens right here.
Right now we have got the number 29 of Ryan Eckstein and the number 4 of Wesley Holland taking over that outer lane side by side with Brian Rainville.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be potentially tough to avoid that 4 wide because these drivers right now, they are heating it up here. They are wanting to see that 4 wide action.
Yeah, these guys ain't being, for some reason, they're not being very patient anymore, but they're doing their thing.
Big shout out to our fans out there. Michelle McMaster Eisenhower, Becky Whitmer, James Wormsley, and Rednecks Racing, as well as the Army fella. Great 3 wide racing. Richie B up there in front with Everett Lane. Now, Everett Lane, he's pretty much been dominating a top 5. Runs a solo driver for Fast Lane Racing. Everett doing a great job tonight.
Yeah, Everett always is a kick-ass driver. And him pushing Richie B, I mean, they're right there in the front. They got Donald Stewart behind him. Oh, here comes Everett Lane deciding he wants to go to the front. He's going to come up there and hope Brian Rainville pushes him in the number 60 to the front.
Now, see, the only problem with that, Jack, what that did is that kind of checked up the number 140 or the number 60 of Brian Rainville. He had a run, and he has got to back out to keep from rear-ending Everett. And what it did to Richie B, that slowed Richie B because he basically lost his push. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 3 wide, 4 deep, side by side, fender bender, bumper humping, side scraping. I tell you what, it is Halloween. It is scary. It is a spectacular 300, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, these guys are doing great being 3 wide that far deep. And look at that. Everett doesn't know where he wants to go. Middle lane, low lane. He just wants to get in the front where he is right now. He's getting a good push right now from Richie B. He left Brian Rainville out there. Brian might have no choice but to go to the high side to get a push, but we'll see what he decides.
Well, Kenneth Wright right now without a partner. Nope, Ryan Eckstein. We are 3 wide with Kenneth Wright. Kenneth Wright going to shoot that middle. No, sir. Kenneth Wright backing it down, but he is side by side with Wesley Holland and Skip Lynn in the number 53 monster truck. I tell you what, it is shaking. We are baking as Richie B in the number 87, abandoning the inside lane, getting a big push from Brian Rainville in that middle lane. Richie B back up to the front, clear of Everett, and coming down in front of Everett.
Yeah, that's crazy. We got Mark Jackson trying to come up here and mix it up a little bit too with these guys. Donald Stewart's right there. I mean, he's pushing the 24, who's pushing the 87. This is getting crazy.
We are 3 wide with the number 65 of Sean Brown and Kenneth Wright and Mark Jackson. Great side-by-side racing. Talk to me about driver fatigue. How is driver fatigue going to come into play tonight, Jack?
You get exhausted. You got to think about where you're going to go next, where you're going to go later, when you're going to pit. It's fun, but you got to figure out what you're going to do. You got to talk to your teammates. It just kind of gets exhausting to try to figure all this stuff out. Now we got the 87 of Richie B and the 60 of Brian Rainville side by side, getting pushed by the 29 of Ryan and the 24 of Everett. And the inside lane seems to have more help down there. The other guys in the middle lane are just kind of falling back a little bit, so that's why Richie B is getting the good push that he is.
It does appear that Tim B. Cox got into a little bit of trouble, which has disrupted that third lane. We still are under green flag racing, but once that third lane gets broken up, you got to work to get it back, and that gives the front lanes ample opportunity to get out there and make a little bit of a break. Looking at the number 93, abandoning the inside lane, trying to get up into the draft of the number 29, Ryan Eckstein. 93 being driven by Digital Forge, Dustin Caldwell out here tonight representing.
Yeah, he's doing a great job right now, pushing the 60 of Brian Rainville.
Couple of spots back too. Stephen Kinney in the number 39. He is side by side with Kenneth Wright in the 146. Getting a big push from the number 64 of Jeff Wood. Now Jeff Wood is a co-owner of Loose Lug Nuts Racing, works hand in hand with John Hedrick. So Jeff Wood, definitely a great driver, definitely a great team owner and a team admin. Giving a big shove to the number 39 of Stephen Kinney.
It looks great back there. I mean, they seem to be keeping it calm, just kind of like in the front, just kind of hanging out and see what goes on. These guys still have a long ways to go. I mean, we got, what, almost 70 laps to go, or a little over 70 laps to go. I think they're all just kind of waiting to see what happens with green flag pit stops.
And we should be coming up on green flag pit stops here within the next 10 laps. Green flag pit stops always very exciting to watch, especially when you get 10 or 12 drivers heading into pit row. Almost three-wide action up in the front, but drivers deciding to back her down. Right now, Brian Rainville and Richie B doing a very great job as caution is out. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to find that. And we do know that that was involving the number 71, Bobby Everhart, going for a very wicked ride through the infield, a couple of somersaults. The number 75, Rusty Farrell, involved as well. Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that the number 75, Rusty Farrell, got a big push from J.R. Johnson, and that sent Rusty forward and sideways into the number 71 of Bobby Everhart. So Bobby Everhart and Rusty Farrell, number 71 and 75, unfortunate breaks tonight on lap 45.
Yeah, I seen the same thing, Scott. It looked like the guy who hit Bobby was the one that actually, he got a big push from the back, and he had nowhere to go. There was nothing he could do. He was out of control at that point.
Actually, very cute, cool replay brought to you by GW Graphics. We are looking at the elevation that the number 71 Coma Silverado had, and there were drivers actually drove underneath those trucks as they were in the air doing some just very wicked. You gotta love the camera angles brought to you by All Pro Broadcasting.
Yeah, All Pro Broadcasting does all kinds of awesome angles.
Our replay sponsor tonight is GW Graphics. Now, at the beginning of the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, you saw that trick or treat commercial. That was the work of Gary Whitmer. Great job, Gary Whitmer, being rooted on out here tonight by his mother, Becky.
Yeah, and he seems to be doing a great job. He's just kind of hanging in there, waiting for go time. He's just kind of chilling out.
That'll be very interesting right now to see what drivers decide to pit, what drivers do not decide to pit, and who will get that lucky dog. Right now we do have 34 drivers still on the lead lap, so that will put Dustin Lee, Niles Clyde, John Hedrick in line for that lucky dog position.
Yeah, and everybody's going to pit here. It's just time. I mean, they were getting close to green flag pit stops right here. Now, do they take 2, 4, none? That's kind of up to their crew chief, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, I always advise my guys, if you're looking at 50 laps or more, I just go on and take 4. We're under caution. It'll only cost you maybe 3 or 4 positions at the most. But now, if we're down to like 50 or less, you need to maintain that position. If you're out there in third position, you do not want to give up third position with 50 to go just for the sake of having 95% of your tires still there.
Yeah, I'm a little different. I always rotate. I'll go right sides, left sides. I mean, if I'm in the back, I'll take 4, but if I'm like towards the front, let's say like the 87 of Richie B, I'll take, right sides, left sides. I'll go back and forth. That way I can stay up here so I'm not in that mess that they're going to create back there.
Our race leaders, Brian Rainville, Richard Brose, and Everett Lane, all opting to go into pit row. So let's find out what they do. Cameras are on. Our race leader, Brian Rainville, into pit row. Brian Rainville taking right sides. Brian Rainville only taking right sides. Very interesting. Brian Rainville more interested in maintaining that P1 position. Let's go on and get Brian up here into the booth and see exactly what is on the mind of Brian Rainville.
Yeah, I got him in first place.
How about it, Brian Rainville, if you got a copy?
I do, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, having a good time watching you out here tonight, work your way up there. Talk to me about your race so far, Brian.
Well, I've been listening to Jack Watts on the broadcast and following his advice, going 2 tires first time, 2 tires second time. Seemed to be working out for me. As you know, I don't don't have any partners out here. I'm running on my own and hanging in there for the moment.
All right, we'll talk about running on your own. Now, you obviously do have a team. Talk to us about what team you are out here representing, Brian.
Yep, I run full-time in the Premier Race Network. Been doing that for 12 years, and we're into our chase there. Same sort of method as you guys run here. Clean, like-minded racers, and tomorrow night's our race at Martinsville, 250 laps. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I always enjoy racing with you guys.
All right, you're looking very good out here. Appreciate you being here, and good luck to you, Brian.
Thank you, Scott.
And that is Brian Rainville out here representing Premier Race Network. One more driver interview. Joining us in the booth right now, we have got number 24 Everett Fast Lane Racing. How about it, Everett?
Hey, how you doing there, big guy?
Doing great, doing a great job. Having a lot of fun out here watching you. You're maintaining up here in the top 5, very solid. But what's on your mind right now on lap 48?
We've been running pretty good tonight. The Chevy Silverado has, and everybody's running good tonight. 2 cautions and 48 laps. You can't complain about that. There's some good racers in here tonight.
Excellent racing going on. Anybody out here you're looking to hook up with or work with? You got a partner out here?
Yeah, I got a partner out here, but I'm going to keep that one under my hat to the end of the race.
All right, copy that. I won't tell your secret. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Scott. How's
everything going with you, Everett? How's everything going with you? Everybody seem to be keeping calm, or you think they're waiting till the end, or what's the deal?
Well, the front's running up here is really good. Everybody's switching around really nice, giving each other room and letting their vehicles cool down. The front up here is really fun to be up here.
10-4. Good talking to you, bud.
All right, thank you, guys. Good job up there.
Everett Lane, definitely one of our finer drivers out here tonight, doing a very good job. Always happy to see Everett out here. We've got Richie B up here in second place. Now, Richie B, looking at his tailgate, he does have a little bit of damage onto the rear end of that Richie B Chevy Silverado. Is that going to be a factor tonight, Jack?
I don't think so. He has very little damage. I see what you're seeing, but he's got Donald Stewart there pushing him. We'll have to see when they take off if that's as bad as it looks or not, but it looks like it's going to be a good time.
And we are double file, ladies and gentlemen, getting back to what will be our second restart of the night. This is our second caution. We have had 18 lead changes. Now, I talked to you about the lead changes earlier, Jack. Those lead changes, they are starting to increase in the numbers.
Oh, yeah, they'll increase more and more as we get to the end. That's when people start fighting to get every position that they can. So we'll see how this goes. We see the 87 has a little tiny damage in the back. I don't know if that'll affect him too much or not. It doesn't look too bad, so we'll see how he does.
Now, it may not affect his draft, but to the driver behind him, he may not want to be behind what we would refer to as a damaged truck. So even though it may not affect his performance, it may affect his partners.
Yeah, absolutely. But the driver behind him will push him. If it doesn't work while he's pushing him, then he will drop him. If it does work while he's pushing him, then he'll keep him.
U.S. Army MP78 out there in the chat box digging the Chucky truck tonight. Hopefully we'll get some good angles with the Chucky truck in victory lane. Pace car is in. Leader's discretion on the start. Brian Rainville getting down onto that loud pedal side by side with Richie B. Richie B in that middle lane. Thought about going down, but right now holding his own in the outside lane, trying to squeeze down. He's got plenty of clearance there, Jack, but he's not getting down.
No, it looks like Richie B's truck in the 87 is not hurting him, but he didn't get no push from the 78. Neither did Brian Rainville from the 24 of Everett Fastlane. So we'll see how this goes right now, because it looks like the 78 decided to come on down and give Richie B in the 87 a little push.
Now there goes Richie B down onto that inside lane, taking over our race lead position here on lap 50. Not quite at the halfway point. Richie B down in front of Brian Rainville, but no loss for the number 78 of Donald Stewart, as he is getting some help from the number 29 of Ryan Eckstein, once again side by side with Richie B.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be good. Richie B's truck looks like it might be okay. That little bump ain't hurting him at all. He's getting pushed. He's hanging in there with the leaders. His truck, I mean, even though it's damaged a little bit, it looks like he's doing a good job. There's not too much to worry about right there.
Now, we were just talking to Brian Rainville, and Brian Rainville mentioned that he has no partners out here. Now, in a situation like that, Jack, you actually do have a partner, and that is the gentleman in front of you and the gentleman behind you. But here at Talladega, that can change in a moment's notice. Everett Lane getting a slight rocking as he slides across the bumper of Ryan Rainville in the number 60. Had to let off that throttle a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like, oh, there goes Brian below the yellow line. He must be starting to get hot. He's trying to get his truck cool, see what goes on right here. Oh, there was Everett in the grass.
Everett Lane into the grass on lap 51. Unfortunate break for Everett Lane, but we still are under green flag racing. But I tell you what, that will cost Everett Lane many, many positions here on lap 52.
Absolutely. He's definitely going to probably fall to the back there. But now that's hard for Richie B. And somebody else is going down below the yellow line. That's going to be hard for Richie B. And there goes the caution flag.
Caution is out, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to look at that on our All-Pro Broadcasting replay. I tell you what, that will bring out our second caution of the evening. We do know that it happened down onto the backstretch, and it appears that the number 71 of Bobby Everhart might have unfortunately been involved in it. William Wise going for a little bit of a ride tonight. Unfortunate break for William Wise. And ladies and gentlemen, that was brought out once a driver had dropped below the yellow line, the 146 of Kenneth Wright. Unfortunately dropping below the yellow line and not able to get it back into the pack of the formation. And as the number 146 goes for a ride, turns in a circle and comes up in front of the number 32 of William Wise, bringing out our third caution of the night. Kenneth in the Casper truck going for a ride tonight on lap 52.
Yeah, that was a rough break for Kenneth. He had nothing that he could do.
Once that Silverado does go into a spin, all you can do is hang on for the ride and hope that you can survive it. But Sean M. Brown also being caught up into that, as well as the number 15 going for a ride here on lap 52.
Yeah, hopefully they can work it out where they won't have to get backup trucks, but it looked pretty rough.
This will bring out our third caution. We are on lap 53. Most drivers deciding to get on into pit row. Our race leader, Donald Stewart, into pit row. I'm pretty sure Donald Stewart will be taking 4. We are not quite at the halfway point, but so far so good. Third caution for 53 laps. Not bad at all, Jack.
No, it's been a really great race. We see a lot of guys on here having patience, just kind of chilling out. But yeah, it's been a great race so far. And I think Richie B is thinking the same thing. He's up there in the front, holding his own. And he's probably having a great time.
Now, after these caution pit row cycles, that is going to change our front of the field. We have got Richie B out there in position 1. Dustin Caldwell advancing up to position 2. And the number 38 of Bob Wells running with Loose Lugnuts tonight, sitting in position 3. We are going to take a commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back at you.
Either way, you guys are putting on a hell of a
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, underneath our third caution of the evening. Our current race leader is Richard Brose in the number 87. Starting off in that position 2 to his right will be the number 93 of Dustin Caldwell. 38, Bob Wells, position 3. Timothy B. Cox in the number 27, position 4. And the number 44, Niels Clyde, will be taking off that 5th position. Now we are on lap 56. We are at the halfway point, Jack.
Yeah, Dustin Caldwell's having one hell of a night. I mean, he just kind of been hanging in there, and now he's on the front row. Let's see how he gets off with Tim B. Cox right behind him. That might be a good run.
Now, this will be his first restart up here in the front. Tim B. Cox in that Metallica, I tell you what, a little known fact about painter John Hedrick, but his favorite band out there is Metallica. So right now, the number 27 is the pride and joy on the field by Loose Lugnuts. Over the top paints, looking very good. Hopefully he will not be scratching up that Metallica Chevy Silverado.
I sure hope not. I like Metallica too.
21 lead changes, getting ready to return to some green flag racing. Big shout out to the sponsors out there making this all happen tonight. Big shout out to All Pro Broadcasting. Huge shout out to the fans out there rooting on their favorite drivers. Now we are going to be getting down to go time not too early. Fans out there on All Pro Broadcasting, talk to me about who you think is going to bring her home tonight in the Spooktacular 300. Green flag, ladies and gentlemen. Richie B, very powerful on that trigger tonight. Big gap between him and the drivers around him. But Dustin Caldwell on the outside getting a big push from Tim B. Cox and the number 78 of Donald Stewart side by side with Richie B.
Yeah, it looks like the 38 of Bob Wells didn't get a very good jump right there, so the outside lane will probably get around him right here.
Very strong possibility, and I tell you what, to make it happen though, you've got to be bumper to bumper, nose to tail, Dustin Caldwell down to the inside in front of Richie B, opening up that middle lane for the number 27 of Tim B. Cox. But Richie B all over the rear end of Dustin Caldwell. Richie B up into the middle lane. Near contact, bold move by Richie B on lap 57.
Oh yeah, he made a great move. That was really close, but he made a great move to keep the lead.
Very bold move, but very great move. And once again, Richie B down onto the inside. Richie B working his way, playing a little bit of a hopscotch here on lap 58, but getting her done once again side by side with Tim B. Cox.
Yeah, it looks really, really good right here. I mean, I don't know if they're acting like this, like 5 to go, or they're just trying to set up for their stuff for later.
Well, I'd say, Brian Rainville getting very close side draft off of Richie B. Darn near contact with Dustin Caldwell. Richie B back out into that middle lane, back down onto that inside lane. Richie B back out into the middle. getting onto the rear end of Donald Stewart, abandoning Tim B. Cox on the inside lane.
Yeah, they think they got somewhere to go. They're going to try to get it, even if it's just the two of them. We'll see, though. They got like 5, 6, 7, 8 trucks or whatever on the inside. There they go. They got the inside lane. They're back in the front.
Donald Stewart, Richie B. back in control of that inside lane. That rear end damage on the truck of the 87 Richie B. not being a factor tonight. Now, it'll be really interesting right now to see what Tim B. Cox does. Tim B. Cox going to the middle, wanting Dustin Caldwell to go with him. Dustin Caldwell not biting. Dustin Caldwell now ready to go. Dustin Caldwell to the middle lane by himself, but Bob Wells not biting.
Yeah, he's got to hope somebody goes with him. If they don't, he's just going to drop back. Now he's got people with him. Now he's got a little bit of help. It'll take a minute or two, but they'll catch up. They'll get some side draft, and you got people pushing you.
Dropping back to Brian Rainville right now in position 6. Getting a little bit of help from Jeffrey Wood in the number 64, Zombie Silverado. Now, again, we talked about that middle lane. These drivers are hooked up. We will see Jeff Wood and Brian Rainville get to the front, getting a little bit of help from the number 14, Robert Mattis. Brian Rainville getting stuck in the middle by himself as Robert Mattis and Jeff Wood, Loose Lugnuts Racing teammates, making that third lane work here on lap 60.
Absolutely, that's what happens. That's what happens right now when you really have no help. But at the end, it's not about teammates, it's about help. But right here, it looks like Brian got hung out to dry right there by Jeffrey Wood and the number 14 truck of Robert Matris.
3 wide with Chucky in the middle, J.R. Johnson in the middle of a 3 wide situation. J.R. Johnson threading that needle side by side with Jeff Wood as he is onto the rear end of Mark Jackson. Skip Lynn getting us some very serious action right here on lap 61. Brian Rainville in the number 60 going for a ride tonight. Brian Rainville down onto the inside doing the best he can to save the PRN truck.
We're still green.
We are green. We are green flag, ladies and gentlemen. Back up to the front as the leaders pass the lap traffic of Rodney German, Richie B, and Donald Stewart on the inside lane in complete control.
Oh, Bob Wells, 38 truck, looked like he just had to let out a little bit so the 27 truck of Tim Cox would come down.
Donald Stewart trying to put a move on Richie B for the lead of lap 62. Coming to lap 63, number 53 Skip Lynn in a little bit of trouble onto the rear end of number 44 Niles Clyde. All drivers safe and sound, but that could have been a little bit scary here at the Spectacular.
It looks like Donald Stewart in the 78 truck has finally got some help, so let's see what they can do on the middle lane.
That help being the number 93 of Dustin Caldwell, driving the Digital Forge Broadcasting Chevy Silverado. Got a little bit of distance between him and Donald Stewart as he is side by side with J.R. Johnson. Dustin Caldwell actually losing a couple of positions right here.
Yeah, I don't know if he's not side drafted enough or front drafted enough, but he's leaving Donald Stewart out there by himself, so it's going to be hard for Donald to keep up.
Number 29 of Ryan Eckstein going up into that middle lane, going to try to help out his good friend Donald Stewart in the number 78, but that's going to open up the inside lane as Wesley Holland in the number 40, in the number 4 truck, getting onto the rear end draft of the number 37 J.R. Johnson. Wesley Holland working his way to the front on lap 63.
Yeah, we got Mark Jackson coming up in the middle. So Donald Stewart in the 78 is pushing the number 3 of Mark Jackson. They're going to try to do their thing on the end, in the middle lane.
Now, I tell you what, my good friend Richie B, he is a sponsor for our Friday night series right now. Richie B doing a fantastic job, but you know he is sweating it up in his fire suit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because he's got Mark Jackson and Donald Stewart trying to get around him. I mean, he's thinking of Tim Cox, push me, but there's not much he can do out there, just keeping it wide open, trying to do all he can.
Richie B has a fan out there on the All-Pro Broadcasting chat. Big shout out to Marcy B, rooting on her good friend Richie B as he is side by side with Mark Jackson. Now, these drivers, their engines are starting to get hot once again. We are looking at the number 78 of Donald Stewart, trying to get a little bit of air off the rear end of the number 3 of Mark Jackson.
Yeah, they're trying. They're really, really tight. Once again, fans, if you guys got questions, throw them in there. We can ask the drivers or bring the drivers up so you guys can hear it.
Three-wide action with the number 14 being driven by Robert Mattis. Side-by-side three-wide action with the lap traffic of Rodney German and Wesley Holland. And the number 14 being pushed by Skip Lynn in the number 53. We are three-wide action with Robert Mattis, Rodney German, and Wesley Holland.
Yeah, we got Bob Wells coming up into the mix. He's trying to get up there in the top 5. It looks like he's right there. Now they're three wide, like you said, Scott. It's looking like some racing.
We are three wide in the front. Oh, we got a turn.
Oh, wow.
That will bring out a caution.
14.
That was the number 53 of Skip Lynn as he got into the rear end of the number 14 being driven by Robert Mattis. Appears there's a little bit of contact between the number 78, Donald Stewart. Yes, sir, that is it, Jack. Donald Stewart getting slight contact onto the side of the number 14, sending the number 14 of Robert Mattis sideways. Nowhere for Skip Lynn to go. No way for Skip Lynn to avoid it. The number 64, Jeff Woods, slight damage. I tell you what, that will bring out our 4th caution of the evening here at Talladega.
Yeah, that was a tough break. When they have nowhere to go, that's really a tough break.
Well, as I mentioned, oftentimes you just hang on for the ride, close your eyes, and hope for the best that you can survive. Skip Lynn suffering some major front end damage.
Yeah, there's probably not much you can do. Hopefully he's got a backup truck in the stable, but there's not much you can do right there. I mean, he was just on for the ride.
And I tell you what, Jack, we're not going to talk about driver error or anything like that. These trucks, I tell you what, until you have been behind the wheel of these, 4,000 pound vehicles at almost 200 miles an hour, I tell you what, don't knock it till you try it because, a lot of things are going on, a lot of information to be processed. But that will bring out our 4th caution of the evening tonight.
Yeah, that's tough. When you're behind it, it's a lot tougher. It's like instantaneous reaction, just like when you're on the freeway. But yeah, it looks like all these guys are going to come down pit road, get some more fuels, tires. I don't know if they'll take 2, 4. We'll see what goes on right here.
A lot of decisions to be made. Mark Jackson wanting desperately to hang on to that race lead right now. And it does appear that Mark Jackson, as he tears out of pit row, will hang on, but it is a drag race between the number 29 and Richie B in the 87, fighting hard for that 2nd and 3rd position.
It looks like to me, Scott, I was on Mark Jackson's camera, and it looks like to me he only took gas. That's it, no tires. So I think he thinks his tires are good to the end.
Alrighty, after this cycle of pit stops, Everett Lane out there in P1, Kenneth Wright in position 2, Mark Jackson in position 3, Ryan Eckstein in position 4, and Richie B out there in position 5 on lap 67. And we're going to get a driver interview in here momentarily.
We're trying to find which driver we want to interview, but it looks like, we got so many good guys out here, it's just kind of hard. These guys are running hard.
All righty, we have got Kenneth Wright in the number 146 up in the booth with us. How about it, Kenneth Wright? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All righty, you're looking good out here, showing your support for Halloween, driving the Casper truck. Talk to us about what your plan is. We are past the halfway point. You're in position 2. A lot of pressure.
Yeah, I'm working with Everett Lane here. We're working on a pit strategy and trying to go to the end here, finish this great race we're having.
How many tires did you take on that last stop, Kenneth, if you wouldn't mind telling us?
Took 2 tires.
Right sides?
Yes, right side.
10-4. Do you got a plan for the next pit stop?
Yep, left side tires and enough fuel to get to the end.
All right, well, it seems that you are the man with the plan tonight. Everett had alluded that he had a partner out here, but he would not tell us who the partner was. Well, now we do know who his partner is. The cat is out of the bag. So good luck to you, Ken, and good luck to Everett. Teammates working together tonight.
Yep, thank you guys. I'd give a big shout out to Loose Lug Nuts and Over the Top Paint for putting this race on. They do a great job. Really appreciate all their work.
Copy that. Big shout out to Over the Top Paints and Designs. Good luck to you, Ken.
Yeah, good luck to you guys.
Hey, thank you.
All righty, this is our fourth caution. 27 lead changes. Those lead changes definitely racking up tonight. One more quick interview in. One of our sponsors, our replay sponsor, Gary Whitmer. How are you doing, sir?
Hello, Scott.
I tell you what, we seen that commercial at the beginning of our broadcast. That was some pretty, that was the most excellent video stuff. Talk to us about what GW Graphics does.
GW Graphics just does commercials for fun, for all pro broadcasting, for live events.
And I tell you what, you do a great job out there tonight. How is your racing going?
It's not too bad, Scott. Been in the front, been in the back. Got a couple scuffs here and there. Still got my 2 fast resets. All in all, try to keep it one piece and bring it home for the win.
How many tires did you take right there, Gary? If you don't mind us asking.
4, I think. I had it set up for 4.
10-4. Thank you.
All right, and you're looking very sharp out there in the Friday the 13th paint job. That was done by Over the Top.
Yes, thanks, John Hendrick, Over the Top Paints, for all these designs out here. This is pretty wild.
All right, and thank you for all you do with the videography.
Yep, thank you, Scott. KMA, All Pro Broadcasting, Over the Top Paints.
Good luck to you, Gary, and big shout out to Becky out there.
Yep, thanks for watching, Mom and Dad. Love you.
Good luck, Gary.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, Jack, that is so cool when the moms and the dads come out there, when the fans come out there like James Wormsley, Stephen Moya is out there watching, Rednecks Racing, Michelle, Becky. You know, one thing about KMA Racing here, we're family. Along with All Pro Broadcasting, with Loose Lug Nuts, all of us working hard to better the playing field for iRacing. You know, there's so many things out there you can do with your time. We are blessed that our fans, our viewers, our drivers, our teammates choose to spend their Saturday nights hanging out with us at 200 miles per hour.
Absolutely, Scott. I agree with you 100%. I mean, I could tell you to F off today, but tomorrow we're still friends. But I'm just mad today, but we are still friends tomorrow. We're still family. Just like family, you get mad at each other, but still, at the same token, you can do your thing.
All righty, and Becky Whitmer out there on the All Pro Broadcasting chat, sending back her love to her son, Gary Whitmer. I tell you what, that right there is what it's all about, John.
Heck yeah, that is just an awesome time. That is really great to be able to see your son do this.
We are getting ready to get back into some green flag racing. Everett Lane, Mark Jackson, Kenneth Wright being a staple up here in tonight's race. Pace car is in. Everett Lane getting ready to get on that loud paddle, or will he? Actually not jumping that start, waiting to get the actual checkered flag tonight. Getting ready to take lap 70.
And here they go. Mark's getting a good push from the 29 truck.
Now once again, talking about that rear end damage on the tail end of the 146 of Kenneth Wright. Not going to slow him down, but Kenneth Wright not quite pushing as hard on Everett as the number 29 is pushing on Mark Jackson. More of a subtle approach here on this restart.
Yeah, but the inside lane now they have double help. So we got Kenneth Wright and Richard Brose pushing the inside lane. We'll see how far Everett goes up.
All right, dropping back a couple of spots. Going to take a look at that Chucky truck. That seems to be the favorite truck of the night. Chucky truck being driven by J.R. Johnson, working in unison with Wesley Holland, doing a great job out here tonight.
It looks like Everett Fastlane's got the lead right now. He might end up getting. Oh no! Here comes Mark Jackson being pushed by Ryan, the number 29 truck.
It was a drag race right there. Now, even though we just did have a caution, and a lot of these drivers did fuel up, we are still looking at another green flag pit stop. By my calculations, Jack, we would be looking at, we are on 71, 81, 91, about 96. Now, once these drivers do go in, if they go on in about lap 90, maybe lap 88, they'll be good to go on the fuel about lap 88.
Yeah, then you decide, do you want just a full tank of fuel, no tires, which is probably what I would do. But we'll have to see what these guys decide.
But see, now if you do go in early and you do what is called a short pit, if that caution flies past your point of pit row, that can trap you a lap down, and that's no good.
Absolutely. But you got to figure out if that's good for you or not. You got to see what the best time is. I mean, you got to kind of hang out and see how everything's going.
So much on these drivers' minds right now. We are on lap 72, getting down to our closing laps. I tell you what, fans, tell me what your favorite Halloween truck is out here. We know we are seeing a lot of love for the number 37, J.R. Johnson in the Chucky Mobile. We've got Halloween trucks out here. We've got Friday the 13th trucks. We've got Kenneth Wright up here in the front with Casper the Ghost. Talk to me on that All-Pro Broadcasting Chat. Ladies and gentlemen, show your love for the trucks. J.R. Johnson tenting with 3 wide, backing her down, staying double file behind Timothy B. Cox in the number 27 Metallica.
Man, these guys are doing some fantastic racing up here in the front. They're being patient. They're not getting too close. This is just amazing racing up here in the front.
Now, I tell you what, 2 drivers we have not talked about. Cody Lipster and the number 23 of Jason Russo. Both of these drivers driving for KMA. Cody Lipster driving the red and white official KMA truck brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs. And Jason Russo driving the Pro Automotive, also brought to you by Over the Top. I tell you what, Over the Top, that is the theme of the night. Cody Lipster and Jason Russo, KMA drivers working in harmony tonight on lap 73, trying to make their way to the front.
Yeah, it looks like Cody and Jason both hung out to the back until now. And now we're well over halfway. It's time to start getting your way up there. It's not go time, but both these drivers, awesome drivers, I've raced with them. They're great. They are starting to come towards the front and figuring out what they want to do.
And I tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, here comes that catchphrase brought to you by my good friend Joel Guy. These drivers are tighter than a hair in a biscuit, as Joel Guy would say.
Hell yeah, as Joel Guy would say. It's a lot more gooder right now than it was before.
Still no 3-wide action up here in the front. We have had 4 cautions, which here at Speedway, that is not bad at all. Been a lot of great racing tonight. Up in front, Mark Jackson down onto the into the front end of Everett Lane for that P1 position, abandoning the number 29 of Ryan Eckstein. Ryan Eckstein going to lose a couple of positions on that, side by side with Kenneth Wright.
Look at this field though, Scott. I mean, they're side by side. Somebody's coming out there 3 wide. It looks like, I'm not sure who that truck is.
Trouble in front. Trouble in front, number 51. Trouble in front with the number 51.
That's Dustin.
Unfortunately, Dustin Lee in the Scooby-Doo truck tonight, going for a ride here on lap 75. Nowhere that the number 72 of Ivan Garcia could go to. We're going to look at that. What went wrong? It appears that 72 of Ivan Garcia, a slight fender hook onto Dustin Lee, and that sent Dustin Lee sideways, collecting the number 72 of Ivan Garcia, as well as the number 88 of Gary Burt, and Gary Whitmer in the number 5 getting caught up into it as well.
Yeah, that was crazy right there.
I tell you what, Jack, my heart broke to see that Scooby-Doo truck going sideways. Near miss with Jason Russo in the number 23, but no damage. The number 44 narrowly escaping it. Number 71, Bobby Everhart, and number 91 of Joel Guy clearing it, along with the number 66 of Edward Bray, but no such luck for Gary Whitmer, Gary Burt, and Ivan Garcia. 3 drivers for KMA Racing right there, caught up into our 5th caution tonight on lap 75.
Well, when that happens, when somebody gets out of control, it's hard to get around them. I mean, there's nothing you can do, and you're just kind of along for the ride.
Well, pretty much all you can do is close your eyes and just hang on for the ride and hope for the best. You know, you lock those brakes down, but when you're locking them brakes down at 200 miles per hour, those trucks got a complete mind of their own.
That they do. Cody Lipster and Jason Russo decided to stay out here. I'm not sure why, but they decided to stay out. Maybe they're thinking they're still going to have one more pit stop.
I am thinking they are going to play the odds tonight, Jack. They are out here. They know they're going to have to make one more pit stop. They are within, I'd have to actually grab my calculator, so 113 laps, so 80, 90, 33. They're going to probably hang out here and hope they have enough fuel that they can get to about lap 85, go in by themselves. If that caution does not fly one more time, they could have this wrapped up on a fuel strategy.
Yeah, because it looks like everybody's going to have to come in one more time. I don't know if they're just waiting to see what goes on or what happened.
Alrighty, well, I tell you what, there is only one way to find out. We're going to try to get a couple of these drivers up here on the horn. Joining us in the booth is Jason Russo, sitting in position 3. How about it, Jason? Have you got a copy?
Gotcha, Scott.
I'm just kind of curious, did you guys decide to stay out because you guys know everybody has one more stop to go, or did you guys stay out to get to the front?
No, we just have a pit strategy and we're trying to stick to it. We hung out pretty much that whole, until now, in the back. We were back in 27th, 30th, somewhere back there, so it's go time now. We're going to see if we can't get this one last pit stop done on the green and make it to the end.
Well, good luck to you. You're working with your teammate, I see. Anybody want to give a shout out to?
Big shout out to all the teammates at KMA. You guys up in the booth, over the top paints for painting up all these nice trucks tonight, and everybody watching at home.
All right, bud. Good luck to you, and hope for you guys to get to the front.
Thank you.
Now, Jason Russo is a sponsor of our Tuesday night TNT series. Great guy right there, but I tell you what, this next driver doing a great job out here tonight. Very interesting to see what is on his mind. How about it, Dustin Caldwell? Have you got a copy?
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. How you doing?
Doing a great job, and we have been keeping our eyes very focused on that Digital Forge broadcasting Chevy Silverado. It is go time, sir. What is on your mind right now?
Well, I gotta tell you, Scott, I'm sitting here in a pool of my own sweat. It's been about 6 months since I've been behind the wheel of a race car. As you know, I broadcast, so it's a treacherous field out here. These guys are racing for everything, and it's just a pleasure to be able to be a part of the Spooktacular and, be a part of this event. It's what's wonderful.
All righty, copy that. And you were doing a wonderful job out here, looking very sharp and bright, making good decisions. Anybody you'd like to give a big shout out to, Dustin?
Oh, definitely got to give a big shout out to Over the Top Paints and Designs. Beautiful paint jobs done out here. And definitely got to give a shout out to Michael D'Amico, Digital Forge, #1 fan. And we're going to have a great race. We're going to try to see if we can finish up front.
Do you got any plans for pit stops in the future?
Yeah, I'm anticipating one more pit stop. So staying out here, you get the flip-flop of pits. So we'll have to see, if we get that one pit stop at a pivotal point, depending on if there's any caution. So we'll have to work it out when it comes. But heart's racing, boys. I'm going to try to stay up here.
All righty. Good luck to you, sir. And it is a pleasure to have you out here in this field tonight.
Thank you.
Big shout out to Dustin Caldwell right there with Digital Forge. And I'll tell you what, let's talk about the go time. We are sitting at go time. We may have one more green flag pit stop that we are hoping to get through tonight. We have yet to see any green flag pit stops. But I do know they're going to come up, Jack, because I'm telling you, we're going to see drivers filling off here in about 5 to 7 laps.
Yeah, we probably will. In my opinion, I don't think it's really go time yet. Probably at lap 100 is go time, but everybody has their own go time, so we'll have to see what happens.
Right now, we do have 29 drivers on the lead lap, Jason Covington being that 29th driver. Great racing out here tonight with the KMA Spooktacular 300. We got time for one more quick interview, a very special interview. How about it, Billy Wise? Have you got a copy?
Yeah.
Hey, Billy, we are on one to go, so we got to make this quick, but I wanted to give you and the paint shop a big shout out. Thank you, sir, for all the hard work for the paints tonight.
Oh, most definitely, man. You're welcome.
All righty, can you tell us real quick about the paint shop?
Oh, we got Jason Covington, John Hendrick, and I. We just love to paint. We do a lot of requests. Some are donations, some cost money. Check us out at Over the Top Paints and Designs on Facebook.
All right.
Thank you for all that you do.
I tell you what, you guys do a great job up there. We're getting back to some green flag racing. So big shout out to Billy, Jason, and John Hedrick. Good luck to you, Billy Wise.
Thanks a lot.
All righty, big shout out there to John and Jason and Billy Wise. They have worked their fingers. They worked their paintbrushes down to the nubs. And Over the Top Paints and Designs is the official painter for Southeast Motorsports as well as KMA Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, back to some green flag racing here. Tim B. Cox going to restart side by side with Cody Lipsker, Jason Russo, Dustin Caldwell, Ryan Eckstein rounding out your top 5. I definitely look to see Cody and Jason trying to get hooked up here.
Yeah, Tim, for our teammates trying to get hooked up.
Jason Russo got a little bit of damage on the rear end of that Pro Automotive Chevy Silverado, but as experience has shown tonight, it don't matter. As long as that front end can do the pushing, and there goes Jason Russo doing the pushing on the 27 of Tim B. Cox.
And here comes Cody on the outside. He's getting a push from that number 93 of Dustin Caldwell. We'll see what happens right here. And they're getting pushed by Everett Fastlane, the number 24.
And I tell you what, I am super impressed tonight with the durability of these drivers up here in the front. Richie B doing a great job, great sponsor out here tonight. Richie B pretty much holding down a top 10 all night, right along with the Gravedigger, Mark Jackson, Wesley Holland doing an awesome job, Donald Stewart. Everett Lane has been a top 10 staples. These drivers up here in the top 10, they are not letting go of this top 10.
Oh, heck no. Now it's time to stay up there. It's not time to push, but you got to stay up there, Scott. You cannot go to the back and hang out right now. If you can stay up here, cool. If not, then you're kind of screwed over. But you want to stay up here.
Cody Lipsker down into the front of the number 27 of Tim B. Cox. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen out there on the All-Pro Broadcasting Chat, tell us what your favorite paint job is of the night. I tell you what, I have got my favorite paint job of the night, and it has got to be the number 37 of J.R. Johnson, Chucky. Chucky right now sitting in a very solid position on lap 81. Tell us what you think of these trucks out here, ladies and gentlemen.
That Chucky paint job is awesome.
Right now we have got this Scooby-Doo truck driven by Dustin Lee, obviously on a backup truck tonight, but he is all over the rear end of the Chucky truck by J.R. Johnson. Never thought I'd have seen it. Chucky working hand in hand with Scooby-Doo. Very interesting. But right now the number 81 of David Butterworth into a 3-wide position with Dustin Lee.
Yeah, but we'll have to see how this goes because the number 23 of Jason Russo is now pushing his teammate, the number 96 of Cody Lipster. So we'll see how this works out.
We are keeping our cameras focused back to this 3-wide action with Kenneth Wright and the number 39 tonight, the number 39 being driven by Stephen Kinney. Back down to 2-wide action, but Stephen Kinney all over the rear end of Dustin Lee. Not a man to be shy about that 3-wide. And you know what? At lap 82 of 113, we're going to have to see some 3-wide, Jack.
Yeah, we're going to have to. At lap 100, I think these guys are going to get crazy. Right now, I think they're kind of still chilling. They know they got 40 laps to go, roughly 30, and we'll see how it goes from here.
Well, back here in the back, looking at the number 88 of Gary Burt, he is into a 3-wide position alongside the number 14 of Robert Mattis. Rodney German a lap down, but doing a great job tonight. Gary Burt getting a lot of side draft off of the number 14 of Rodney German into the wall on lap 83. Gary Burt almost making contact with the number 14 of Robert Mattis, but no contact as of yet.
Yeah, I don't know what Gary's doing. He might just be riding around, waiting until the end, or he's pushing for all he's got because he's way back here. Oh, he actually is a lap down. So we'll see if he's just trying to help people out or do his thing.
Well, I tell you what, I tell my drivers, I don't care if you're 1 lap down or a million laps down, you drive it like you were on that lead lap. Gary Burt to the outside lane, going to go into a 3-wide position with his teammate, Edward Bray. Gary Burt side-by-side, 3-wide position with Skip Lane. But here comes the number 14 of Robert Mattis. Going to give a little bit of love to the number 53 of Skip Lane. Side by side, number 14, Robert Mattis, making contact with the number 81. And that will bring out our caution, our sixth caution of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to look at that on our All-Pro Broadcasting replay. Now, it appears that the number 81 of David Buttersworth may have actually drifted up track just a hair, as the number 14 of Robert Mattis drifted down just a hair. You know what, Jack? I'm going to call that no fault. At 189 miles per hour, you're going to wiggle. You're going to slide. It is
Absolutely.
what it is.
Absolutely. It is hard to control these things at that fast.
But that will bring out our sixth caution of the night. Lead changes. We are up to 31 lead changes tonight. Hot and heavy racing here on lap 84, but this will change the game. We have got to get our calculators right now, Jack. These drivers are getting 26 laps. We are on lap 84, going green on lap 87. Can these drivers make it on this next pit stop?
No, I don't think so. I think even if they topped off at the end, I don't think so. They'll be real close, but I don't think so.
It'll be very interesting to see. Now, they can save fuel. Now, obviously, if you're up there in the front, if you're Cody, you're going to have that hammer smashing down. Cody Lipster going into pit row. But if you're back there in the back, such as Billy Wise or Jason Covington, back there in positions 19th and 20, they can do what we call a float. Now, what I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen, when you float, you're just lifting off that pedal about 3/4 throttle. You can actually save about 1/10 of a gallon per lap.
Yeah, you can, Scott, but I don't think that's still enough. I mean, 20 laps from here, 26. 20 laps from here puts us 105, and 6 more puts us... It'll be close. It'll be really, really close. Oh, Cody Lipster in the 96 almost got into the 27 right there.
I tell you what, that was
really
a
close.
race. That was a race off the pit row right there. Cody Lipster almost losing control.
Yeah, he almost got it Tim Cox there in the 27 coming off the pit road, but they got it out clean.
All righty, I tell you what, we're going to take a quick interview here with our number 3rd spot, Wesley Holland, driving for Loose Lug Nuts tonight. How about it, number 4, Wesley Holland? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got a copy.
I tell you what, you have been putting on quite the show tonight. Very strong effort, great looking truck. Talk to me about that paint job. Talk to me about your race so far tonight, Wesley.
I've just been hanging out, trying to avoid, all the wrecks and just riding until the end, try to get it to the end.
Now, I'm going to assume that great paint job was done by the paint shop.
10-4, John Hendrick. Thank all them guys for these cool paint schemes.
What's your
All right.
plan for the end? For fuel mileage, tires, and all that?
Man, I'm just, I chose not to pit right there, hoping that maybe one more caution I might be able to make it and just stay out in front of the pack back there.
All righty, well, I tell you what, you have got quite the crowd out there on the All-Pro Broadcasting chat booth rooting you on. Great job tonight, Wesley Holland. We're rooting for you, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
All righty, Wesley Holland out there. Got a lot of teammates out here working with him. Bad Bob Wells, Billy Wise, Jason Covington, Jeff Wood, Robert Mattis. Great driving tonight done by the entire Loose Lug Nuts crew, by the entire field tonight, Jack, in fact.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. Just to kind of hear what these guys got going on for the pit stops for the end or whatever, that's kind of cool.
Joining us in the booth right now is our number 4 position, number 44, Niels Clyde. How about it? Mr. Clyde, have you got a copy?
I've got a copy.
All righty, sir. I was telling our All-Pro Broadcasting fans I am not very familiar with you, but right now I am getting familiar with you because you're up here in position 4. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I've been running with the Old Bastards for a couple of years. If I can say Old Bastards on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
I guess I can. And I'm getting smarter every day because I'm following Wes, and if I follow Wes, he usually wins. So.
All righty. So, what is your strategy for the remaining 30-some laps?
That's it. Stay behind Wes and then pass him on the last one.
Stay behind Wes and then pass Wes. I tell you what, we're going to keep our cameras glued to you, brother.
Roger that.
Do you
All right.
plan on getting tires on your last pit stop, or just fuel, or just 2 tires, or what's your plan?
I'm not planning on making another pit stop if I don't have to.
Did you pit on this last caution?
No, sir.
Tempo.
All righty, we'll see how that works out for you, and good luck to you, Mr. Clyde.
Thank you. Oh, and
All righty, not quite sure if that pit strategy is going to work out for him, hoping that he's got enough fuel, but I do not know. Now, after all of the pitting has happened tonight, we're looking at a new race leader, Jack. See who is up there in the front.
Big Dustin Caldwell.
And big Richie B. I tell you what, Richie B tonight, very impressive job tonight.
Richie B is doing an awesome job. He's been in the front all night, though, Scott, so I don't know. He's been doing a great job.
Dustin Caldwell, Richie B, Wesley Holland, Niles Clyde, William Wise out there up in the top 5. Big shout out to William Wise. We call him Billy for short, one of the painters over there at Over the Top. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, fans out there with All Pro Broadcasting, tonight is all about the paints here in the Spooktacular 300. Doing a great job out here tonight. We've still got the Scooby-Doo mobile driven by Dustin Lee in the number 51, still rolling right along, taking a licking but keeping on ticking. Dustin Lee in the number 51 in position 6.
We'll have to see how this restart goes. We've got the number 93 of Dustin Caldwell with the number 4 Wesley Holland pushing him on the inside lane. We'll have to see how that takes off. We got the number 87 of Richie Brose and the number 44 of Clyde pushing him on the outside. So we'll have to see how this restart goes out.
Now we still have got a huge field, ladies and gentlemen. We have still got 32 drivers. Edward Bray having connection issues early on in the race. But right now Edward Bray is 4 laps down in the number 66, but doing a very good job tonight holding his own. Ivan Garcia 1 lap down in that lucky dog position, right along with 30 drivers still on this lead lap tonight.
About ready to take the green. Let's see how it takes off.
This will be Dustin Caldwell's very first restart. So I'm not sure if he's going to jump it, and he jumps it, and Dustin Caldwell off to the races with his partner right now. We do know these drivers are on the same radio channel. Dustin Caldwell and Wesley Holland. Boogity, boogity, boys. Let's get her done.
Yep, there goes a hell of a push right there. That's definitely teammates right there.
Teammates are so important right now. Right now, it appears that Richie Brose out there, not got anybody out there willing to help him at the moment. Niels Clyde trying to get onto the rear end of the 32 of Billy Wise, but Richie B holding his own, not a partner behind him, but taking advantage of all of that side draft and actually advancing forward, at least staying right there side by side with William Wise.
Yeah, Richie B's doing an amazing job doing what he's got to do. He's got to help coming up. But Richie B is doing the side draft thing like you're supposed to do. He's doing an amazing job. Now he's coming up to 3rd.
Now here comes the number 27 of Tim Cox, and we've got Cody Lipsker almost going 3 wide, backing her down. Now teammates right now, Jack, it is critical. We are looking at Cody Lipsker, Jason Russo, Mark Jackson in that outer lane. Now if these 3 drivers were to hook up right now and go into a 3 wide position, they could work their way to the front. Right in the front, Richie B back down onto the inside, taking over that P1 position one more time tonight on lap 90.
Yeah, if those 3 teammates hooked out to the outside, they could go to the front, but they won't. I'm pretty sure they won't do it yet because they are my teammates. I understand that they're not going to do it yet, but maybe later they will. It's not quite go time yet. Probably another 10 more laps.
All right, we've got the owner of Loose Lugnuts out there rooting his fellow drivers on the All Pro Broadcasting chat. Unfortunately, John Hedrick not able to complete tonight's race due to mechanical failure. But I tell you what, he is a great team owner, great team supporter, rooting on the Lugnuts drivers here on lap 91. Great action.
Uh-oh,
Richie
Rex Scott, Richie B.
Richie B going for a ride. we're going to look at that on our All Pro Broadcasting replay brought to you by GW Graphics. We do know that Richie B getting loose all by his own, Jack. I initially thought that Dustin Caldwell might have bounced him, but no, sir. Richie B was free and clear. Richie B just completely lost it. Possible tire blowout, but he gets a 2-for-1 special on the number 23 Cody Lipster and the number 3 of Mark Jackson and Tim B. Cox. Well, I tell you what, that was the big one. I am not sure there is a driver out here, Jack, that escaped that one, other than the front of the field.
Yeah, I just went back and looked at the replay, and it looks like Richie B absolutely got loose on his own. I'm not sure what happened, if he had a blowout, if he just lost it, hit the apron, but yeah, he did get loose on his own.
Well, I tell you what, I am looking at this from our blimp up in the eye in the sky, and if we can get our cameras on that blimp view, that is just a sight to behold. Drivers, you know, you can park 15 of these trucks from that outer wall to that inside wall, and I tell you what, these drivers were taking every bit of that 200-foot spread, trying to avoid the carnage here on lap 91, but very few drivers in the mid-pack able to survive this. That was the big one.
That definitely was the big one, Scott. That was rough for a lot of guys.
Now, hopefully these drivers do still have 1 or 2 reset backup vehicles back there in the shop. But it will be very interesting to see what happens. Now, we do have Cody Lipster completely survived it, free and clear. Wesley Holland in number 2 spot. His truck appears to be clean, but I am not completely sure. Number 3 spot, Dustin Lee in the pit row, along with Skip Lynn and the number 78 of Donald Stewart. We're going to get a race interview in with our current race leader. How about it, Cody Lipster? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, I tell you what, the question of the hour right now, Cody, what did you see in your rear view mirror?
That was a lot of chaos, a lot of cars getting taken out right there. I was very, very, very fortunate to be one of the very few trucks to make it through that.
Well, I tell you what, that is going to shake and bake and just change things up completely across the board. So now, talk to me about what you're going to do about pits. You know, we talked about go time. You are closing in on your pit window. Are you going to hang on to this P1 position? You're going to risk it going to pit row? What are you going to do?
I think
actually I made
pits.
my final.
I'm going to pit because we got 20 to go.
Alrighty, Cody, you heard Jack. He's looking at 20 to go, but what do you think, Cody?
I believe I've made my final pit stop of the night. I saw my fuel window last time around, and that was about 27 laps, so I'm pretty sure I got a pretty good shot right now just to kind of maintain position, keep where I'm at. Hopefully a few more of my teammates are able to get back up here. Quite unfortunate, really, because 3 really great drivers that were sitting right behind me got taken out right there. And, you know, it was really a racing deal. I saw Richie get a little sideways, and there went the pack. It was really a racing deal. It was very interesting to watch.
Did you take tires this time, Cody?
I took no tires last time, but time before that I did take 4.
10-4, so you think you're good to the end?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
10-4.
All righty, good luck to you, Cody. Definitely hope to see you bringing that KMA red and white attack up there into victory lane, but you got a lot of stiff competition. Good luck to you, Cody.
Thank you.
All righty, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally going to get that interview you have all been waiting for. This driver, he has received a lot of shouts out there on the chat box. How about it, Chucky J.R. Johnson? Talk to me.
Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm doing great. I tell you what, the fans out there in All Pro Broadcasting, you are the talk of the town, driving the Chucky Mobile, as we're going to call it. You are sitting right there in position 5. Tell us, is Chucky going to get to the front tonight?
I don't know. These guys are pretty good, Scott. I'm just trying to bide my time, you know, show a little patience here. And luckily, we got the class of the field here tonight. We got some of the best in the business here. And I'm just hoping to stay up front. We'll see.
Now, have you got anybody out here that's going to give old Chucky a push? You got any teammates out here?
Just my fellow KMAers. You know, I got Joel Guy here in 7th, Bobby Everhart in 8th. So hopefully they'll find their place in line, and let's see what we'll do.
Did you get tires this time?
JR, what about your tire wear?
I'm good on tires.
All righty, Jack, you heard the man. He is good on tires. All righty, good luck to you, JR.
10-4.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good luck to you.
All righty, I tell you what, we are down to go time. This will be the final need for pit stops. Unfortunately, we're going to probably not see some green flag pit stops tonight. But you know what that is, Talladega? This is the nature of the beast, and none of these drivers are going to lay down. Now, looking at our stat numbers, we are at 19 laps to go, 7 cautions, 34 lead changes, and we're not done with these lead changes yet, Jack.
Oh, no, we're not. We still got probably 10 or 12 lead changes to go, and now it's getting close to go time, so we'll probably see quite a few more.
Big shout out to our fans out there, our viewer fans starting to get involved. Big shout out to U.S. Army. Big shout out to Mark Jackson. Unfortunately, out of tonight's race due to mechanical difficulties. Craig Covington out there as well as John Hedrick. Big shout out to the ladies out there. Craig Covington and John Hedrick showing their support for Loose Lugnuts tonight. Very interesting restart. Cody and Wesley.
Cody and Wesley front, side by side. We'll see who gets a better push. See, either the 44 is going to push or the 32 is going to push. Who's going to get the better push?
I tell you what, we're looking at 95, 105, 115. We're looking at an 18-lap shootout right now. And, you know, even though we are a little heavy at the heavy mark of the cautions, it is Talladega. We have seen 3 wide. We have seen Olympic-style aerial assault, 360-degree trucks flying through the air. Haven't yet seen anybody go over the fence, but I tell you what, Jack, that may very well happen in the next 18 laps. Been a very great race. Big shout out to Over the Top Paints and Designs. Pace car is in. Cody Lipsker, Wesley Holland out there in front. Lap 95, taking lap 96. Cody holding pace speed.
And here they go, green flag again.
Now Cody is up here by himself, hasn't got a buddy in sight. Now Wesley Holland, Niels Clyde, and William Wise, guys running out here for Loose Lugnuts. They are going to try to get hooked up, but Cody's nearest help is the number 37 of J.R. Johnson in the Chucky Mobile. But wait, here comes Bobby Everhart in the number 71, another KMA driver right now side by side with Niels Clyde, Kenneth Wright, running with KMA tonight, being pushed hard by the number 14 of Robert Mattis. Robert Mattis driving for Loose Lugnuts, but lo and behold, the number 87 of Richie B. Got a fresh truck, 4 new tires, full tank of fuel. Richie B getting ready to get back up to the front.
Yeah, we haven't talked much about Bobby Everhart, but man, he's coming back up there to the front. He probably just hung out back for a little while or got into something, but he's up there. He's going to give Cody a little bit of help, and so is the 32 of William Wise. He's trying to push Cody right now to the front.
Well, William Wise is trying to push on Cody, and Chucky is trying to push on William. Number 44 losing momentum. Caution is out. We're going to find that on our All-Pro Broadcasting replay. Ladies and gentlemen, not quite sure exactly what brought that caution out, but we are going to hunt her down. Everett Lane in the number 24, along with the number 64 of Jeff Wood. We're going to back it up, ladies and gentlemen, and find out. Well, we do know that Jeff Wood had absolutely nowhere that he could go. We do know that he was not the cause of it up in front. Taking a look at the number 88 of Gary Burt. And Gary Burt locking horns tonight with the number 93 of Dustin Caldwell, as Dustin Caldwell was into the number 10 of Jason Covington.
Yeah, that's a tough deal for 93. He was up front all night long. So him getting in the middle, that probably screwed him over pretty good. He was up front all night long.
All righty, and we have got the cameras on this replay. Ladies and gentlemen, it does appear that the number 93 of Dustin Caldwell, unfortunate break, but getting a little bit loose as he was being pushed on by the number 88 of Gary Burt. I tell you what, I cannot call that one, Jack. I will not call that one, Jack. That was just some good hard racing. We do know that Dustin Caldwell had a big run coming up onto the number 10 of Jason Covington. Dustin Caldwell possibly having to lift, went to the right about the same time that Gary Burt went to the right. And wham bam, thank you ma'am. There goes Gary Burt to the wall, and there goes Dustin Lee into the side of the number 10 of Jason Covington. I tell you what, that is racing.
Yeah, that's one of those racing deals. I know Dustin Caldwell's been up here in the front all night. He's probably ready to get back up here. And I know Dustin Lee is usually up in the front. So, yeah, it was probably a racing deal.
Well, not much that can be done about that. But I tell you what, that will make for a much more interesting finish tonight. We have got some heated racing yet to come, ladies and gentlemen. Now, a lot of drivers right now probably are out of resets.
Sorry.
So, unfortunately, this field may shrink up a little bit in size. It has been a very exciting night tonight, bordering on the little bit of a long side tonight, as this will bring out our 8th caution of the evening. We unfortunately do believe that Dustin Caldwell will be out of backup vehicles, so this may be the end of Dustin Caldwell's night tonight here at Talladega.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, Scott. I mean, we got Cody on the outside, and we got the number 4 truck of Wesley Holland on the inside. Neither one of them really have teammates, so we'll have to see how this plays out. I mean, we have just a little over 10 laps to go, so we'll see how this works out.
Well, joining us up in the booth, we have got the number 14 of Robert Mattis. How are you doing, Robert?
Oh, still alive in here, so I'm doing pretty good.
I'm glad to see you're still alive. Looking very good out there in that pumpkin truck, showing your support tonight for Halloween and over the top. What is your plan for the next 13 laps, Robert?
My plan is what Kevin already showed on his Twitter feed. Going like a raging bull. I'm going anywhere the truck's going to fit.
All righty. Well, we know you've got some teammates out there. You got Wesley up there in the front. You've got Mr. Clyde up there in P3. You've got William Wise up there in P4. So, do you think you're in pretty much good hands? You got a shot at the podium tonight?
I think the old Great Pumpkin has a good shot at the podium, but it all depends on what kind of lane moves or what kind of push I can get also. Teammates don't mean nothing if you can't get to them.
All right. Anybody you want to give a big shout out to?
Yeah, I want to give the shout out to Over the Top, KMA for putting this on, Loose Lug Nuts, Digital Ford, and my boy Steven, who's watching this live on YouTube right now.
All right. You said your boy's name was Steven.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, hey Steven, appreciate you out here watching Dad out here doing a great job. So definitely bringing the family with him tonight for the Halloween race. Good job, Robert.
Thanks, sir.
All right, and I tell you what, Jack, one more time, we're going to use that F word, family. Family is the word right here. We got moms watching, we got dads watching, we got our kids and our girlfriends watching. Big shout out to the fans.
Yep, that's what it's all about. Family and friends and fans.
All right, going into down the backstretch, we've got Wesley Holland sitting in P1, Cody Lipster in P2, Niels Clyde, P3, William Wise, P3, P4, and Kenneth Wright sitting in P5. The favored truck of the night, though, I think is J.R. Johnson. Chucky out here got a lot of fans.
That chunky truck is nice. We all love that thing. That thing looks so good.
Alrighty, hey, joining us up in the booth, unfortunately, one of our drivers have been knocked out of the race tonight, out of backup vehicles. Joining us in the booth is Gary Burt. Gary Burt, well, I don't know what to say. You got knocked out the race, but what was it like out there? Give us some live action here.
Guys, I'll tell you what, it was a lot of fun out there tonight. There was really some hard driving, real close driving. It was going to be a good race. The cautions were a little heavy, but when you got this pack racing like this, one guy makes a little mistake, and it's going to happen. No big deal there, really, but I just got caught up in that last wreck, and that was the last the replacement truck I had. So thought I'd come up here and see what you guys are doing.
All right, well, I tell you what, Gary, we didn't get a chance to get you on for the interview, but do talk to us about the truck you were running tonight.
It's a Silverado. It was running good. The setup was great. You could drive it anywhere you wanted to. It drafted well. It sucked up behind the other trucks real good. Just a real good race truck. But we started out strategy-wise. We started out in the back, did not qualify. Was just going to kind of hang out. We were working our way up there towards the front as the laps went on, and just bad luck, man. Just got caught up in it.
I tell you what, just great racing out here tonight. This is Talladega. There are going to be wrecks, but I tell you what, we are doing just as well as the real guys out here. A big shout out to you, Gary Burton, looking good out here, showing your love for Halloween, showing your love for the fans out there. Big shout out to the fans. I tell you what, we are about at a record number of viewership out here, and we love each and every one of our fans. Give us a big thumbs up out there on the broadcasting channel. We like you, you like us. Ladies and gentlemen, it is lap 101. We have got 12 to go. Going to be about 11 lap shootout. Boogity, 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 boys. Let's get her done.
Yeah, now it's go time, Scott. We're going to see what these guys got. This is go time.
And we are going to keep our cameras, Gary and Jack, glued up onto our race leaders from here on out. Pace car is in. Wesley Holland side by side with Cody Lipster. Niels Clyde, slight rear end damage. Kenneth Wright, slight rear end damage. With the number 32 of William Wise. Pumpkin truck, sporting pad. And here we go. Get her done.
Green, green, green.
32 is actually a little closer than Force guy, so we'll see how this works out. Gary Whitmer Jr. in the 37, or J.R. Johnson in 37, he's coming right there.
We've got a lot of fans out here rooting on that Chucky truck. Ladies and gentlemen, and once again, give us a big shout out to what your favorite paint job of the night is. Bobby Everhart in the number 71, going 3 wide to the front. Big push by Donald Stewart, but Donald Stewart scraping the wall on the tail end, not affecting his performance. We are just about 3 wide for the front position. Wesley Holland, Cody Lipster, Bobby Everhart, 3 wide, 10 to go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, these guys know it's go time now. There's no messing around. It's go time. They're going to do all they can to get to the front.
Wesley Holland on the inside lane, falling back a little bit. Cody Lipsker down onto the front of Wesley Holland, abandoning William Wise out there in that middle lane. Bobby Everhart, plenty of room to come down, but staying through on that third lane. William Wise going backwards. J.R. Johnson not able to get right back. Wesley Holland coming back up into the middle to help his teammate. Billy Wise going to leave Cody high and dry on the inside. Wesley Holland out by a nose.
Yeah, Cody's just hoping for the 44 of Wesley, or Clyde, to push him. That's all he's hoping for, is get pushed real good by that guy.
Contact in the front, ladies and gentlemen. That will bring out our 9th caution of the evening. We had our cameras glued on there. We're going to take a look at that and find out exactly what went wrong. It does appear that the number, and I'm going to call this carefully, guys, it does appear the number 32 of William Wise, maybe just a slight right turn. Not sure if he was bumper hugged by the number 78. We're going to look at this from a different angle, but we do know that William Wise and the number 32 coming into contact with the 78 of Donald Stewart, and that is what set this off, ladies and gentlemen. But Cody Lipster, Wesley Holland, Bobby Everhart, and Niles Clyde, top 4 clear of the 9th caution of the night. Heartbreak on lap 103. I tell you what, Jack and Gary, that was too close to call. Looking at it from another angle, Billy Wise, a great driver, a lot of side draft, but I just cannot call that, Gary.
Yeah, I'm looking at it again myself, and it looks like the 78 that was right behind Bobby might have gotten into the 32. I'm not sure.
I tell you what, they were so tight, tighter than a hair in a biscuit. But either way it goes, Billy Wise, great driver. Donald Stewart, great driver. Unfortunate break for Bobby Everhart up there on that third lane. Starting to make his move. Doesn't appear that Bobby Everhart took a lot of damage, but I don't know. He kind of got sandwiched up into that wall a little bit.
Yeah, that was kind of rough. I went back and looked, and it's kind of hard to say. I think it was just a racing deal. But yeah, it was real rough.
But I tell you what, as our fans out there are saying, we're going to call that hard racing. I told all these drivers tonight in the pre-race meeting, everybody in here, great drivers. I vouch for them all. And whether it was this driver or that driver, I'm going to vouch for all these drivers tonight. Really don't care. Just been some great racing out here tonight. We are going to be going. I don't expect anybody's going to pit, Gary. Do you?
No, they got plenty of fuel.
Other than damage, right?
No, they will not pit. They'll stay out.
All righty, we're going to get one quick interview in here, if I can find Bobby Everhart. Bobby Everhart is going to be joining us in the booth right now. Bobby Everhart, number 71, Coma Toyota. Have you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got a copy, Scott.
All righty, I tell you what, I know you were hanging on to your seat right there, tighter than a hair in a biscuit. Did you get any damage? We saw that you got just a minor scrape, but is it going to affect your performance?
Well, all I can do is hang on to the rear of whoever's, I think it's Wesley, is leading on this restart, and just basically the only thing I can do is just hang on to him because I've got a little bit of hood damage here from that. I think I got tagged a little bit.
All right, well, I tell you what, I'm going to be the devil's advocate right here, Bobby. I'm going to put you into a precarious situation. Now, you say you're going to start behind Wesley Holland, but up there on your right, up in front, is your teammate Cody Lipster. Are you going to be true to Wesley, or are you going to aim for Cody?
I want to aim for the win.
All right, so you're going to basically pick whoever it is going to get you to the front that you think you can pass.
I'm going to do the best I can to get to the front, but like I said, I've got this front end damage, and it's going to slow me up a little bit. I think me and Wesley got a little bit when Donald got me, but I hate that because me and Donald was really going on that outside lane.
And we have our cameras glued right there onto you, sir, and we caught it firsthand. Real quick, talk to me about that paint job. What is Coma?
Coma is an relaxation drink. You can go online and buy it if they still got any in stock. But you drink it at nighttime and it relaxes you and puts you to sleep. And they come in shots and they come in 12-ounce cans too. And it's some pretty good stuff because I got a bunch of it.
I got a bunch of that too, but it's not called Coma. But God bless you, Bobby, and God bless Coma. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Scott.
Did you get tires on that last stop, Bobby? Rights, lefts, none?
Yeah, because I ended up having to pit. I got them all.
10-4, thank you, sir.
Because I was in the rear.
10-4.
All right, good luck to you, Bobby.
Thank y'all.
So there you go, Scott. That's the guy in the back that got all the tires. The guys in the front got two.
All right, going to be a very interesting restart. Now, I'm pretty sure that this will be our last caution of the night. Once these guys do get back to some green flag racing, if the next caution does fly, well, we're at 106. So, Gary, help me out with my math. What point will we not go back to green flag racing?
We will have to hit 111 or 12. And if we're there and the caution comes out, it'll be done.
All righty, fans out there on All Pro Broadcasting chat channel, it is time to put your bets up. Will it be Wesley? Will it be Cody? Will it be Bobby? Kenneth Wright not out of this. Number 23, Jason Russo, sitting in a very strong position. Jack, right now, the restart's going to happen at about lap 108, 109, so we're looking at about a 5-lap shootout. Where do you want to be position-wise right now, Jack?
As close to the front as possible. Right now, I mean, it's go time right now. You got to have a buddy. You want to be as close as you can to the front. You don't want to be behind lap cars Not that they're slower, but you want to be in the front.
But now, Gary, do you agree with that? Do you want to be where Wesley Holland is right now, looking at about an 8-lap shootout? Do you want to be on the front, or do you want to be in that slingshot position?
Myself, I want to be exactly where Cody's at right now. I want to be starting in second. That is a faster line. If you can get the guys behind you to line up, you'll come off of 4, and that momentum will carry you to first place. You know, the win coming off of 4. Sometimes the inside line, you have to choke that truck down just a little bit to get it to turn, and it kind of binds up that whole line. So the outside line is definitely the fastest. So if it was me, I'd love to be where Cody's at.
All righty, well, we have got our first viewer response out there on the All Pro Broadcasting chat. Right now, Becky Whitmer putting her bets on the number 96 of Cody Lipster. But I do know that Wesley Shane Holland has got a lot of fans out there rooting him on as well. Bobby Everhart, fans out there in All Pro Broadcasting land as well. But you know what? I am not counting out the number 44 of Niles Clyde, making his debut appearance tonight. I don't know this cat, but this cat can drive, Jack.
Yeah, he's been doing a really great job. He's been in the front all night, so we'll see what he can do right here at the end.
Unfortunately, suffering a little bit of a cave-in. Appears that while he was in pit row, he put that truck into reverse and backed into a telephone pole. But as we have seen tonight, that does not matter right now. Now, Jason Russo, on the other hand, the number 23 Pro Automotive, he looks like he backed into 2 telephone poles. I'm not sure Jason Russo is going to have to get up and go with about 6 to go.
Yeah, Cody's just kind of hope that somebody will help him push him. Cody's got a fast truck. He's a great driver. So we got to hope that 44, the Nigel guy, can help him out, because I don't know how much help Jason can do if he's that messed up in the back. But Bobby's right there too, so we'll just have to see what happens.
But see there, guys, the thing that's going to hurt the number 4 truck is the damage on the front of the 71. Bobby may not be able to push the 4 truck as hard as he's going to have to go to win. So I was looking at the damage on Bobby's truck, and it's pretty significant. So we'll see what he's got for being able to push the 4. But I think Cody's sitting in the back in the catbird seat right now.
Titanium TV out there on the All Pro Broadcasting chat. A big fan of number 4 of Wesley Holland. Titanium TV shouting, "Let's go Holland, get her done." So, Jack, with Cody being on that outer lane, do we want Cody to stay on that outer lane? Do we want Wesley to get up into that outer lane, inside lane, outside lane? Where do you want to be?
If I'm Cody, I want to be on the outside lane. That's always the faster lane here. But we'll just have to see how the push comes.
Pace car is in. Boogity, 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 boys. Lap 108, taking lap 109. 4 to go here at the KMA Racing 3rd annual Spooktacular. It's been a great race, been a scary race. Big shout out to Over the Top, and here we go, Gary.
Yes, sir. This is where we're going to see exactly how this is probably going to end. It does look like Bobby's getting a pretty good push, though, so maybe that front end damage ain't hurting him too bad, because they're definitely pulling out by a truck length or so.
Yeah, Bobby's got a little back end damage too, but it still looks like he's pushing him fine, so Bobby's probably okay.
Yep.
Cody's kind of getting screwed out there on the outside.
Cody Lipster getting hung out, but here comes Kenneth White and the Scooby-Doo mobile of the number 51. And I tell you what, I had said Chucky might have been my favorite truck, but right now I don't know. That's Scooby-Doo. My wife, a big fan of Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, get her done tonight on lap 109.
I'm rooting for that Scooby-Doo, Scott. That's the guy that helped me win it last night, so come on, Scooby-Doo.
Well, I'm going to stick with my teammate. I'm pulling for Cody.
I tell you what, though, Wesley Holland in complete control of that inside lane. Now, these top 6 drivers right now, Jack and Cody, Jack and Gary, they're not going to try anything drastic right now. We are 3 laps from getting this done. These drivers are wearing down. Fatigue is setting in. Right now, I think this is going to be between Wesley Holland and Cody Lipster. I do not expect to see a 3-wide finish tonight.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Cody's the Cody's a smart driver, just like Wesley and Bobby and Kenneth. I think that they will just kind of chill out until when it's go time. They will side draft a lot harder than they are now, but we'll have to see what happens at the end.
Now, I'll tell you what, funny story here, Jack. I don't know why they do this, but I have seen Wesley Holland be referred to as Wreckham Wesley. You know, we all tease our teammates. Why they call Wesley Holland Wreckham Wesley, I do not know, because tonight, that has not been his persona. He has been doing a great job tonight. This very possibly could give Wesley Holland the new nickname. No longer will he be named Wreckham Wesley. He could be named Wyndham Wesley tonight here at the KMA Racing Spooktacular. But Cody Lipsker might have something to say about that.
Absolutely, Scott. Wesley has been kick-ass all night. He's been in the front all night, or he's been towards the front. He's doing a great job right now, so we'll just have to see how it plays out.
And right now on that All-Pro Broadcasting chat, he is the favorite driver to win. Big shout out for James, big shout out to Digital Forge, big shout out to Steven and John Hedrick and Titanium TV. Wesley Holland, favorite driver to win. We are on lap 112 of 113. Final laps coming up, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know. I think Cody's going to have something to say about this when it comes down to the final lap.
Well, that's going to be dependent upon Ken. That's going to be very dependent.
The thing about it is, right now, the advantage the outside has is they've got a 4-truck line against the 3-truck line. That should give them enough momentum coming off of 4 on that last lap. If they can stay hooked up, that top lane will come out ahead. But if that bottom line is fighting like crazy.
Well, you know what? There is a possibility we overlooked. There is a possibility that if Bobby Everhart gets clear of that middle lane, Bobby Everhart could very well jump up in front of the number 96 and the number 96 push.
In my opinion, Cody's my horse. I think that horse is going to win.
This is the white flag. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last lap. We are going to end this under green flag circumstances here. Been a great race, 9 cautions, 37 lead changes. Wesley and Cody down the backstretch, side by side, being pushed on by Bobby and the number 146 of Kenneth. Will it be Wesley? Wesley side by side with Cody Lipsker. It is a drag race, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like this is a Kentucky Derby and somebody is going to win by a nose. Wesley, Cody, side by side, maybe too tight to tell, a little bit of bumper side scraping. They are scraping.
Cody!
He got it. He got it.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Cody wins. But
yeah.
I want to go back. I want to go back and I want to look at that finish and I want to find out exactly what happened. We did see, oh my goodness, it appears that Bobby Everhart cut loose to the right, getting into the number 146 of Kenneth Wright. Not sure exactly what happened to Wesley Holland taking a left turn down pit row. I didn't see any contact, Jack, on Wesley Holland. Did you?
I seen somebody spinning back there. I didn't pay that much attention to it because my horse was winning, but yeah, there was some contact back there. I'm not sure who did what.
I tell you, either way it goes, though, Wesley Holland pulling down a very solid second place. Kenneth Wright finishing it up in third. What a wild finish, but I tell you what, looking at that on our All-Pro Broadcasting replay, Cody Lipsker in the right place at the right time. Unfortunate break as the number 71 of Bobby Everhart takes a right-hand turn. Might have been a blowout, but right there at the start-finish line, we have Bobby Everhart into the side of Kenneth Wright. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get these drivers up here momentarily for a post-race interview. Take her away, Jack.
My horse came in first. I'm so excited. That kid is badass. He is that good, actually. I'm just like that happy. I mean, I had a feeling he was going to get up there, so I'm excited that Cody won this race.
All right, joining us up in the booth is the number 146, Kenneth Wright in the Casper truck. All righty, Ken, the mic is all yours, brother.
Man, that was a heck of a finish, wasn't it, guys? Woo.
Yeah, you did an absolutely beautiful job, bud. You couldn't have done nothing else. You did a great job.
I'm just glad Cody won it. I was glad to get up there and help him. It was a good race. Just tickled to death that he won it. Big shout out to Loose Lug Nuts and Overtop Paints for putting this on. Really had a blast tonight. Good job, everybody.
How was your race, though? You have a good time? You have a good race? How was your race?
Yeah, I had a good race there till about halfway through, and I think we blowed a tire. The 24, I think, blew a tire too coming to the tri-oval, and then coming through 1 and 2, coming out of 2, I think I blowed a tire and ended up spinning her all the way around and caused a big bunch of drama.
10-4. Thank you, bud. Have a good night.
You too, thank you.
All righty, big shout out to Kenneth taking home the P3 spot tonight. But now we have our P2 finisher, Wesley Holland. A lot of fans out there in the booth rooting you on, Wesley. Great job on P2. Talk to me about your night.
It was fun, man. I appreciate, everything that got put on today. And yeah, it was crazy. That finish was crazy. It took me about the whole time sitting here at the line to get my breath back. So yeah, it was a great race.
Wesley, I was watching the finish there, and you and Cody were side drafting, maybe even bumping a little bit. Did I see what I thought I seen?
Yeah, I was going to give him the door. I mean, I don't know if that hurt me at all, but I just wanted to win it.
I hear you. Yeah, at that point, you do whatever you have to win. That was a fantastic finish. You were the favorite out here tonight with all the viewers, and you ran a heck of a race tonight. Stayed up front. Whale of a job, guys.
Yeah, these guys raced me great out here tonight. I appreciate everybody that came out tonight, and everybody raced me clean. So it was a great race.
No, I will tell you, Wesley, and I do have a question. I have seen on Facebook posts of you referred to as Wreckham Wesley in a friendly manner, but I told our fans out here, Stephen Lanham was out there rooting you on, Digital Forge, William Wise, Redneck Racing. You are no longer Wreckham Wesley as far as I'm concerned. You were tonight Wenham Wesley. Hats off, Wesley Holland tonight, dominating at Talladega. P2, good job.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for everything.
All righty, great job, Wesley. Great job to Loose Lug Nuts. Good job, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
All righty, we also have Cody Lipster up here in the booth. Now, he is our race winner of the night. Go on, Jack. Talk to Cody.
How was your race, Cody? What did you do? What made you win? What's your deal?
Oh man, my deal. That was awesome. Fantastic racing all the way around. Kenneth, Wesley, Bobby, all of us that were up in front. That was an awesome way to finish out the night. Really have to thank Kenneth for pushing me to the win and all of that. It was an absolute blast the last couple laps.
Yeah, I was rooting for you. I seen a guy pushing you. I was rooting for you. What made you win?
Really what made me win was the last little bit of side draft that we were able to take away from Wesley coming through 3 and 4. Ended up almost getting into it. A little bit of contact through the tri-oval, but I figured that was just really hard racing. And honestly, it was an absolute blast to be out here and racing against these guys once more.
10-4. It was good to have you. Thanks for the interview, and I was rooting for you, bud.
Hey, Cody. Hey, Cody.
Yes, sir.
You and I started out the night in the back, and my night didn't finish near as good as yours did, but congratulations on the win. And I wished I would have been up there to push you to that win, but hey, man, my night just didn't quite work out as well as yours did, but awesome job, brother.
10-4, thank you, and thanks to all the KMA drivers. The KMA drivers and everybody else that ended up coming out tonight. Also want to thank All Pro Broadcasting and Loose Lug Nuts for putting this thing on. My parents for letting me do this. Over the top paints and designs. They do amazing paint jobs. Wesley Whitfield right beside me painted up his truck right there. Awesome job.
All righty, Cody, I tell you what, you were out here working hard. Very good job. Very proud of you, Cody. Great race, great drivers, great broadcast, great announcing. Good job, Cody.
Thank you.
Awesome job, Cody.
All righty, now, Jack and Gary, our next big event we've got planned will be coming up with the monthly pad race coming up on Sunday, November 6th, and then a Veterans Day race coming up on November 12th. And we're going to call that Remember the Heroes. So, big race coming up for the Veterans Day race. Big shout out tonight to John Hedrick, Over the Top Paints, Loose Lug Nuts. Man, I tell you what, we don't race the guys over at Loose Lug Nuts a whole lot, but I tell you what, they are some great drivers here at KMA. Jack, final thoughts. This was your first time in the booth. I think you owned it. What do you think, Jack?
I had a great time in the booth. I had a great time calling out the guys, seeing what they're doing. I had a great time seeing something different from than the cockpit. It was a great time. Thank you for having me up here.
Thank you for being here. Gary Burt, close us out with some final thoughts tonight.
Oh, well, I'm going to just say awesome. That's the only way you can describe this tonight. The racing was exactly that. I didn't get to stay up here the whole night in the broadcast booth. Wished I wouldn't come up here at all, but hey, it happens. But the Halloween, wish everybody out there, all the fans, you guys mentioned it earlier, as a driver.
What's up, bud? You here, Michael?
John Hedrick with Over the Top Paints and Designs. I tell you what, John Hedrick is the only painter for KMA Racing, the only painter for Southeast Motorsports. Hats off to John Hedrick. Check him out on Facebook, Over the Top Paints and Designs. Big shout out to the fans out there, to the viewers, to the drivers. Big shout out to All Pro Broadcasting, the busiest man there is out there on the broadcasting channel. 67 John still talking about the Chucky car. Big shout out tonight for J.R. Johnson. I am Scott Cody. He is Gary Burt. He is Jack Watts. Michael D'Amico on cameras. Ladies and gentlemen, remember PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Check them out at padd.org, and we will see you on Sunday, November 6th for the monthly PAD race. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, guys.
And we are out of here.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.